I didn't know this was possible, honestly, for a font to somehow be a worse font than Comic Sans MS. But Calibri has to be it, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Calibri has to be it. It's fucking garbage. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. Calibri, the new seeming default font for Windows, from what I've been able to glean, in like word processors and in Paint in this instance. I don't know what idiot decided. Let's make the default font size 11, first of all. Fuck size 11. And then set the default font to Calibri. It's heinous. It is absolutely fucking heinous. I cannot stand it. We'll be starting off properly in 2 minutes, folks. Long live 12-point Times New Roman. We are a Times New Roman household. Like, I do all my script writing in Times New Roman because it's just aesthetically good. There's nothing wrong with Times New Roman. I refuse to believe any criticisms to it. You'd have to be a maniac to believe there's anything whatsoever wrong with Times New Roman. Helvetica is good if it's installed on your system. I've noticed it's not installed on most of the computers I've actually used. It's one you have to install separately, because if I'm not mistaken, and I learned this in a class a while back, Microsoft essentially stole most of the design of Helvetica to create Arial. And as a result, there was a dispute between the creator of Helvetica and Microsoft. And that's why it's not typically default installed on Windows systems. There's a little bit of font history for you. I learned that in a business class. No, an IT class. I can't recall. Hello, Rundo, how's it going? What's happening? We're kicking off very shortly. Don't lose your head. We will be away from starting soon screen in just under 30 seconds. Right now we're just vibing and having a bit of a rant about fonts. Was it an IT business class? It might have actually been some kind of... It was definitely some kind of like admin kind of class, you know? Alright, let's turn this volume down. How you folks doing? How are you folks doing? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abigail Beck. Welcome back to the Rogue Room. I'm your host. And tonight, my fairy lights have decided that they're about to get thrown in the fucking bin. Because look at that pathetic display. And where's my... Oh my god. Okay, give me a second. And also I'm breaking my good habit. Alright, we're in States. I didn't even realize this had happened. Oh my god. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. And others. There we go. We can't go without the fucking backlight. Like, we can't go without the fucking lights behind the bed. And the fairy lights are being shit because they're battery operated and they're cheap and they're garbage. Rogue identifies as a chair. My pronouns are chair. Nice necklace. Oh, did you notice that, did you? Did you notice my my necklace, what I got? I wonder what that could be. Is anyone familiar with the design of this particular very interesting piece of jewelry that I'm wearing? Toss a coin to your witcher. I'm sure you'll love to hear me. I mean, it's the game pendant, so it can't even do that. Oh, Valley of Plenty. Anyway, I'll stop singing that. How's your favorite streamer? Good. We'll get to some redeems in a second, because you're already diving straight in with the channel point shit, which was a bad idea. Hydration is good for the body. DMCA striked. I'm not that good. It wouldn't pick it up. Anyway, that's for you, Magic. That's for you, Fox. I don't know if anybody else has done it. We'll fix up our posture a little bit. Push your tits together and all that, everyone. Empty like my soul. And I think that's all the redeems. Okay, we're good to get into the business to defeat the Huns. Why am I singing tonight? What's wrong with me? Just prepare to hate me. I made a big hubbub at the start of the year about how I had a bit of a problem with this. And I don't fucking care. Suck my enormous tranny dick. I'm having an energy drink. I'm not in the mood. It's a stress response, okay? Get over it. Always time for singing. I always say that I hate the way I sound. Yeah, at 9 PM, I don't care. I literally give no shits. I always say how I hate singing, and then I just like burst into songs sometimes, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I do this? Anyway, I had a little activity for us. I had a little exercise for us to kick things off for tonight's stream. Let's do us something. Is that okay for your colon? No. And I'm taking Ferrograd C iron and vitamin C tablets, which are also not good for your colon. They cause your feces to become black. So I've heard. But I have low iron intake. Straight male trying not to offend. Can you ask a question that you have yet to get a straight answer for? Well, being that I'm gay, it won't be a straight answer. Go ahead. Absolutely go ahead, Chase. I am proud of that. That was dumb. Feel free to clip it if you want. The exact amount of extra you needed tonight. That was fantastic. I need more opportunities to do shit like that. Oh, goodness. Also, little activity that I want to do in a moment. New emote drafting session, because I've been meaning to do this. Got a few ideas. We'll jot those down in a minute, but first, let's answer your question, because I'm interested. I'm curious. Oh, and also I've got my news over here. I've got an interesting story to start the stream off. But we'll come back to that. Tonight's top story. Someone's a transphobe. Anyway, can I ask you, Chase, to wait a few more days and I'll have a whole video essay on literally that exact topic? YouTube, if you click on that first link, that'll take you to my main YouTube channel where I will actually be... I have to record it and then I have to edit the whole bloody thing, but I have a video on that specific topic coming up this month. And then I have to figure out next month's video. I haven't even thought... I think I'm going to do women next month. Like I want to do women every month. Well, welcome to the program. Formerly Chase. Yeah, that was another bad gay joke. Anyway, let me think for a sec. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I'll do something regarding feminism or TERFs or something next month. I haven't quite planned out what next month's video is going to be. But this one's finished with the script, and I have to get some voice actors. I've already put out a voice acting call for like 9 different VO roles. So, with any luck in the not too distant future, before the end of the month. I've got 10 days to get this video done. I've got to be really on the ball about this. I've got to hurry up and get it done. Anywho, let's before we go into anything like that, let's do a little bit of gay shit, which is, in this circumstance, emotes. We're going to do some emotes. Well, we're not going to actually do emotes, but I don't know why I've decided to do this in Paint. Hello, Zayla. How you doing? Let me think. Okay, so there are a few ideas that I had because we've got... Oh, that's wrong. That's not the right size. We need full size, please. We'll make it pink. We'll make it pink. 5 tier 1 emotes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's change the color a bit. So this is what we're doing at the moment, apparently. 1 tier 2 emotes. And we'll do lavender for 1. So I'm trying to think. I need to redo my emotes because my cat's not that interesting. Don't lie to yourselves. He's kind of boring. And since changing everything about myself, we need to have new emotes. Oh, okay, you can't even see. Okay, can I like shrink everything down in the background? Why is Stream Deck open? Go away. All right, let's put you over here. And there we go. A little bit complicated because of where my face cam is, I suppose. New emote drafting sessie on, which I didn't plan for this, so now it's cut off. It would make more sense to do this in a word processor, but I am playing with Paint. Get over it. Hey, Rena, how's it going? How's it hanging, folks, by the way? How are you all treating each other? Oh, yeah, also, I haven't really talked about the queer panel yet. I have icons on my desktop. Feel free to cancel me over that. No one should ever have icons on their desktop, quite frankly. It's an abomination. The desktop is for aesthetics, not for icons. Okay, so there are at least 2 that I already want to do for tier 1, and that is face, arm, and Angie. We got 2 emotes for tier 1. Vest dab. I don't know how the hell you would do a dabbing spider, honestly. Not to mention I'm doing all of these myself, so I can't hire an emote artist. Who's this Angie? I'm Angie. All the time. Rent-free. I mean, I could do rent-free. Yeah, that could be a thing. I could do rent-free. I could do a text emote. I haven't done a text emote before. Dude, look at this mess that I'm creating. I'm going to put this in quotes so that you know that it's text. Did I get your Prime resub? I think I did, yes. If I'm not mistaken, yes, I did. Twitch did not eat your sub. It's okay. It's all good. So we got Angie, Facepalm, which we already have a basis for. Let me see if I can find the picture. I'm just going to go onto my computer and I'm going to like hide my selfies folder for a minute because of all the fat titty nudes that I save in there. Actually, did I even save the Facepalm in this folder? I don't think I did. I did have a Facepalm picture that I wanted to... Here it is. You may have already seen it, you may not. But yeah, I want to redo this, and then I want to turn it into an emote. Which, you know, it's easier to do, to take that photo and turn it into an emote, probably, but the reality of the situation is that, is me with no makeup. I forget why I took that photo, honestly. I've completely forgotten why I took that photo. But it's relevant and we're going to keep it. Automod, held message for reason hostility, LaMayo. You wish nothing but the best for me. Well, thank you, Richard, but that's unusual first message. But alright, thanks. Wish nothing but the best for you too. Okay, we got 3 emotes for tier 1. I'm not sure what about... Tier 2 and Tier 3. Like, what do I do with Tier 2 and Tier 3? We have the little cross, but it's kind of like... Aside from it being a brand thing, it doesn't really say anything as an emote. So I'm kind of considering dropping that one. I think what I'm considering here is... We'll keep... Because, again, this doesn't... Smudge, like, look at my incredible handwriting with a mouse. We will keep smudge dab, right? Hang on. God, can you remember the olden days, folks? Do you remember using paint and you had literally 3 undos? That was it. You had 3 undos. We'll keep smudge dab. Yeah, the sleeping cat. We'll keep that one. Back when I was a young whippersnapper, you see, in paint, we only had 3 undos that we could use. Murphy, welcome to the Rogue Room. Hello, Story Girl. Hello, Kiara. How's it hanging? At least my paint skills are way better than yours. Why did I decide to do it this way? We need one more tier 1 emote. And I don't want it to be the cross. I don't want it to be the lipstick X. Which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep that or not. As the emote, at least. Self-flagellation. That could go in there. The kitty is still good because cat, yes. But we don't need 2 cat emotes. 1 cat emote is enough. Maybe if I get partner and I can start unlocking more emote slots, we'll do fine to have a bunch more cat emotes. But for right now, just the one will do. Self-flagellation is essentially self-harm, basically. It's usually in a pious manner, though. It's self-harm, as far as I know, for the sake of a god or something like that. Like you may have seen like the very devoted, very devout Catholics who will, yeah, it's to repent. There we go. That's the best way to do it. They'll lash themselves in the back. Hello, homonyms. How's it going? Yeah, that's what it is. You might have seen it in not the Passion of the Christ, in not The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe either. That bloody movie with Tom Hanks in it. Da Vinci Code, that's it. I didn't know they made the sequels to that movie. I only saw the first one and I thought they just gave up. I thought it didn't do well enough. They apparently made the entire trilogy. So there you go. There's a fun fact for you folks. Either the cancel emote or a mean meme image of a right-wing figure. Yeah, flogging, that's it. Angus thongs and perfect flogging. Thanks for the hydration, Fox. You want some philosophy? What do we got in philosophy? How about... Did we do Adam Smith, Man is an Animal That Makes Bargains? I think we may have. This is political philosophy. Man is an animal that makes bargains. Yeah, the movie wasn't good. It wasn't exactly crash hot, was it? Alright, we'll do a bit of this. Scottish writer Adam Smith is often considered the most important economist the world has ever known. You're welcome. The concepts of bargaining and self-interest that he explored, and the possibility of different types of agreements and interests, such as the common interest, are of recurring appeal to philosophers. His writings are also important because they give a more general and abstract form to the idea of the commercial society that was developed by his friend David Hume. Like his Swiss contemporary Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Smith assumes that the motives of the human beings are partly benevolent and partly self-interested, but that self-interest is the stronger trait and so is a better guide to human behavior. He believes that this can be confirmed by social observation, and so, broadly speaking, his approach is an empirical one. In one of his most famous discussions of the psychology of bargaining, he contends that the most frequent opening gambit in a bargain is for one party to urge the other, the best way for you to get what you want is for you to give me what I want. In other words, we address ourselves not to another's humanity, but to their self-love. Smith goes on to claim that the exchange of useful objects is a distinctively human characteristic. He notes that dogs are never observed exchanging bones, and that should an animal wish to obtain something, the only way it can do so is to gain the favor of those whose service it requires. Humans may also depend on this sort of fawning or servile attention, but they cannot resort to it whenever they need help because life requires the cooperation and assistance of great multitudes. For example, to stay comfortably at an inn for the night, we require the input of many people, to cook and serve the food, to prepare the room, and so on. None of whose services can be depended on through goodwill alone. For this reason, man is an animal that makes bargains, and the bargain is struck by proposing a deal that appears to be in the self-interest of both parties. Help me help you. Yeah, quite literally. There's a bit of philosophy. I could have sworn his name came up, and I was like, this guy's familiar. Who is this bloke? And I have not read that. I have not read that particular segment. There we go. We know a little bit about Adam Smith. I think I've read the title, Man is an Animal That Makes Bargains, though. That does sound familiar to me. Back to emote planning. It's now new emote drafting or says, kind of. You smell nice, Jacinta. You do. I actually haven't worn deodorant for like a week. I should probably fix that. The only philosophy you've studied is Marxism. I've done a bit of Marxism. I know a bit of Marxist. I've read the Communist Manifesto. I've read a bit of Capital. I'm familiar with Marx. I mean, we're studying it at the moment. So, there's that as well. How about eyes as an emote theme? Get some fierce wing action happening. That could be a thing. Outfit model? Do we want an outfit model? I could do an outfit model. Why not? You're going to finally crack and go to the doctor on Monday. Your hand has been numb for over a full week now. What the hell? My God. That is not good. I hope you're okay, Reed. Goodness. The Witcher medallion is not supposed to be part of the fit, but I'm wearing it anyway. Check me out. What do you think? I've got jeggings. I bought jeggings. You like them? Like, they're quite good. Then... oh my goodness. I got a headband, I got little glove thingies, which are really fucking cute. Holy shit. As I have a boobs emote. Given, like, there have been a significant number of butt emotes on the platform, a significant number of booty emotes, and they've said it's against the TOS, and yet they still manage to stick around for some reason. I don't know. Some people have managed to get them done, get them banned, and then other people will have a booty emote for a significant length of time. I don't know. A pose emote? I don't know. I need something that's immediately recognizable at a glance. Like, you can tell what kind of reaction you should be invoking from the emote the moment that it drops in chat. Cube? Are we thinking cube? I mean, that could be a thing. Cube could be a thing. What do you think about cube as a tier 2 or tier 3? I could do a trans something or other. I wouldn't do a flag, but I could definitely do a trans flag themed something. That's why yours have words. Yeah, it's a good way to keep it, like, yeah, with the hype emote, for example. I mean, you can barely tell that it says hype. But if you look at it, you know, hype, 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 hype. We could do trans cube. We could take a picture of the cube on a certain angle, like this angle here, where you can see like multiple sides of it, and you can sort of make out what it is. And then I could change it so like some of the buttons, I could just edit it, and some of the buttons could be blue so that I get the trans flag colors there. Be a good idea, I think. Do a select color, select similar, select similar, select similar, and fill with Paisley, and emote. It could be a thing. I like all the trans stuff in chat. We like hashtag punch the farts. We sadly can't do Dennis Prager having sex with Margaret Thatcher. Okay, so how about would you hate me if I made that one tier 2, or should I make it a tier 1? I think P-A-I-S-L-E-Y. Scream or anger. Well, we've already got Angie. We've got Angie. Facepalm and Angie are both things. Actually, I think, let me have another look really quickly. I believe I may have actually already saved an Angie emote somewhere. Let me find it. I've got this one already. So we've got one. We've got an oh, fuck. That's... I don't know if you'll be able to tell what that is from such a distance. If we make that tier 2, you're going to have to spend more money on me. Well, we could do that. Well, I'm going to make it tier 2. Heck it. Okay. Trans... Cube. One word. If only I knew how to, like, I don't know, paint this or whatever it is, so that I could make it a, I could do it myself. Take it apart and then, like, paint some of the buttons or whatever. Anyway, we still need another tier 1 and a tier 3. Badger. There you go. You know what I hate? I can't do that. That can't be an emote. Regrettably, I can't do me flipping you off as an emote. That's against TOS. Sucks. Maybe make that face border a little less noisy. Yeah, I'd clean it up a bit. It's an early draft. I'll make it look nice. Excuse me. What else could I do? No, what? What? Trans ring as a flip-off stand-in? You could do that, couldn't you? OnlyFans emote? That would get banned so fast. That would get shut down so fast. No, Twitch wouldn't have that. Twitch would not have that. Guaranteed. Only oh, shit. Let me think. I'm trying to think. OnlyPans. Only pansexuals allowed. Need one more tier 1. One more tier 1. Preferably something that I could be doing with my face, but I don't know what I could do with my face. Could I do like a, I could do something cutesy and warm and humble and whatever. Like something like that. Can I just be like surround it with love hearts? Only Comic Sans. God no. We've already got Comic Sans in this one. Abby Uwu. Keep in mind, I plan on editing these. I don't plan on them just being like blatant screenshots. Wholesome Abby. Abby Uwu. We could do that. Fake Pouty. We've already got the angry one. That should be that what that is. Okay, so Abby Ooh, there we go. All right, we got all our tier 1s done. Our tier 2 is done. We're not going to make these tonight, mind you. We've got some news to get into shortly. But last one, tier 3. The tier 3 that almost nobody is going to use because I've got like no tier 3 subs at the moment, I don't think. What do we do for tier 3? Karl Marx in a vibration. Eats to win. Wait, vibration? Oh, hang on. I saw that so sorry, the Austin 316 thing. Who originally said that? Was that you? According to the UK Sunday papers, the brilliant idea of reopening to the UK has led to another COVID spike. What a shock. Replace the thing with Rogue BX 316. Maybe. Just blurred my finger. Liberation. I was reading it as like libation for some reason. The baffled upside down emoji by your face. I could. Have a text that says filthy capitalist. It wouldn't fit. It'd be too small. The thing is, like, emotes are fucking tiny. Look at this cat, for example. It has to be legible inside that. And most emotes aren't. OnlyTans. I'm sure there's someone on this platform that has an OnlyFans themed emote. And I'm sure Twitch is watching their account very like a hawk, basically. Very like a hawk, yes. I'm just gonna move this like that and ruin everything. Legibilities for squares. Can I like select? No, you can't. You can't select multiple things. Hello, Phage. How's it going? I need to find another tier 3 emote. I suppose it needs to be alluring, doesn't it? Yeah, you have to be detailed, but you have to be detailed in such a way that you can make out what it is. Hello, Wango. It's a pleasure to be back on here. Fascist as a text emote? No, because then people will think I'm a fascist. No. Here's one. Instead of a finger, why not hold up a sausage? Because that'd come across as some kind of penis imagery. I guarantee you. That would be the message that Twitch would take from that. This is a penis. Stop using your own third tier emote. I don't even have one at the moment. I've only got 4 of them. I only have 4 emotes. Why do I only have 4 emotes? I swear I had 5. Can I make you a mod quickly? Why do I need to make... You have to ban someone. Why? Do a 0, 2, or 3 equal signs and a more than sign. Could depict a bird flipping. You probably could. Do I hate when parents don't allow you to do what you want? Well, yeah. That's a bit shit. Hello, Nika. How's it going? An 8, 2, or 3 equal signs and a greater than sign. An 8, 2 or 3 equal signs and an... I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, it's a penis. Okay. No, okay. Yeah, I get it. Damn it. I'm dumb now. I'm very, very dumb. I am incredibly, incredibly dumb today. Forgive me. Been mentally taxing today. Goodness. That's a wiener, not a flip-off. What else can we do? Lost brain cells telling that one. I get it. I can understand. There was an attempt. Tier 3. It needs to be worth it. You know, it needs to be really, really fucking worth it. You know, whatever tier 3 emote, I can't speak. Whatever tier 3 emote I come up with needs to be really worth it. What about a nothing emote? I could. Oh, you need to ban Uncle Fester from the Discord for the face swap image. I could do a nothing emote. Hang on. Like that meme, this isn't tennis. This is anal sex. How would we do the nothing emote? Just literally nothing? Just like a literal empty... What do you think? Just a literal... No, I wouldn't do a black square because that would then seem like it's appropriating Black Lives Matter. And I wouldn't want to do that. Hey, look, it's all my selfies. There we go. Pauline Hanson, black lipstick cross sounds cool as fuck, actually. I really should change my branding so it's a black lipstick cross. Pauline Hanson emo. Do we hang on. Okay, we can certainly find an We can certainly find an emotable Pauline Hanson. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Like, could we just take this picture of Pauline? Or this one? There are so many that work so well. Oh my god. No, we don't want a picture of her smiling. She looks absolutely demonic. Look at this. Oh, Pauline Hanson is an extremely right-wing, very racist Australian politician. Like, this image alone illustrates exactly who Pauline Hanson is. She's vile. She is an absolute supervillain of a politician. She's essentially Cruella de Vil. Yes. Don't look too deep into your files. You'll never know when you'll find your own butthole. Oh, dude. I am very, very tempted to do a Pauline Hanson for tier 3 instead of the nothing. Oh my god. We should do a Pauline Hanson emote. Oh my goodness. What do we think about this one? Does she need a hug? I wouldn't want to hug her. She'd definitely try to stab you if you hugged her, if you were a minority. Is that legal? I mean, I've seen people who've got emotes of people that they, have no association with. So, it's so crazy that literally no news about anything happening in Australia or the waters around it ever comes across to America. Yeah, it's hard to find news about anything that's not America in America. That's kind of the problem that America has. So much of the news media is so tightly controlled and focused on what's going on in America because they want... The news media in America specifically wants people to be focusing on America first kind of thing. They want it to be seen as the greatest country in the world, and thus the news of whatever's going on overseas. It's why whenever you see some big news topic come up about an international, for example, what's a good example here? Like if there's a major coup happening in some other country, was it Bolivia that was going through some shit? It's why there's such a big hubbub of, listen, my friends, this really bad thing is happening over in this country. We need you to spread awareness of this message, retweet this news article, blah, 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 blah. Because the American news media doesn't want to report on it. They want to put their top stories as America-centric and make sure that everyone in America is focusing on that first. There is news you can find that's international news. But at least, like here in Australia, there is a similar kind of thing with especially televised news media, and there's televised radio where they tend to focus on Australian news stories first, and then they will intersperse some international stuff, but it's less frequent. But yeah, if American news media is like that, the reason is because I'm trying to shut out the sound of rain outside at the moment. It's pissing down. It's to make sure the propaganda gets into the right ears, you know what I mean? Or rather, the right propaganda gets into the people's ears. Here in America, we have enough things that are wrong that we can't care. Yeah, exactly. There's that too. You could always do a messy paint trace version to take the piss. Use a picture of her taken in public. It's legal then. Well, I mean, most of these are public photos. Most of these photos of Pauline Hanson are public domain. Pictures of her in Parliament House are technically public domain, I think. So we can use anything. And the left ears too. The last major Australian news you can remember beyond the snow or fires was the immigrant island stuff and the coup in the Australian Labor Party. Yeah. Things is weird. At least, I will say, transitioning in Australia has been pretty nice. The more I look into all the bad stuff that's going on in America, and... no, not America, the UK, sorry. But yes, America as well. The more I'm thankful for how seemingly easy it was to transition here. Maybe it's my state is just particularly progressive or something. I don't know. World's a big place, but not that big. I think we as humans thoroughly have the planet pretty much in check. You can walk and chew gum. That's crazy. That's insane. How are you able to do both of those things at the same time? I do not believe you. That's wild. Think about the strike in India. I don't even know about the strike in India. And as Story Girl illustrated, Hanson is very racist and quite bitter at anything that threatens white supremacy in our country. Yes. Horribly homophobic, transphobic, and Islamophobic in particular. And as a relevant story, she did a speech like 20-something years ago, 25 years ago, specifically talking about the idea of Asians taking over Australia, which is relevant to recent events that happened in Atlanta, you know. So this is a woman who is very, very distinctly white supremacist and doesn't like the idea of any internationals coming into our country. She's one of those people that will try to spin the idea of multiculturalism both as a good thing and simultaneously as a bad thing. She's like, it's such a good thing that Australia is such a multicultural country, but the damn Arabs are trying to take over with their kebab shops. Like, that's the kind of shit that she says. Unironically. That's a direct quote from Pauline Hanson. The cop who did the news conference said he had a bad day and this is what happened. Yeah. Literally I think that cop, aside from himself being a massive racist, I think that particular cop just watched Joker right before the shooting happened. And then he just, like, put the two together. Like, clearly, this guy went and shot up a massage parlor because he was upset at society! White pride. Part Lebanese and your white supremacist stepfather can't understand why you don't support white pride. Yeah, like, what? In other UK news, the Tory government has been working with someone who has promoted the idea of white genocide because Tory equals fascism. Or Tory does not equal fascism, honest. Yeah, she wore a burqa into Parliament as a protest against head coverings. She did. Yeah, if I have a bad day, I go get a pizza and some drinks. Don't shoot a bunch of people. Pretty much. And like the really ridiculous thing is like, oh, the cop saying that he had a bad day. And I mentioned this in the last stream that we talked about this. What about the families of the victims? And the victims themselves that died. Pretty bad day there, if I'm honest. No. Do miss Australian cinema, especially in the 80s and 90s. There were so many great indie movies. Much like New Zealand has an amazing film institute, but all of it seems to have gone now. Well, I mean, New Zealand has been... I think the reason that the New Zealand film industry is dying is because everyone is well aware that New Zealand is Middle Earth now, and you just can't film on location in New Zealand now because everybody will be like, well, that's just Lord of the Rings. You can't do any more movies in New Zealand because everybody will look at the scenery and just go, "Yep, that's Middle Earth." I can't immerse myself in this movie anymore. That's Middle Earth. I don't care what it's like. If it's a 007 movie, no, they're in Middle Earth. I just can't take this movie seriously. That's why the New Zealand film industry is dying. I assume. I don't. I'm making up shit. Folks, this is a joke. This is a ha-ha. This is funny. Lindsay Ellis's Hobbit videos showed how much of a clusterfuck New Zealand's film industry is or was at the time. I'll have to give that a look. I actually do not know what the film industry is like in New Zealand. What's going on over there? Are we doing whataboutism now? Yes. Yeah. Don't understand. It's stupid. How about we do some news? That's a good idea, Appy. Let's do some news because we really want to just piss everyone off. I know I do. So, hang on. Before we do this, let me just find this tweet that I found before we commence with the actual event. The brain meats overheating. They would be. Okay, here's the tweet that I found that actually begins this whole story. I have no idea who Lil Mama is. There's the hydration for you. Let's clarify before we get into it. I just got hydration on my stream deck. Thanks for that, by the way. Let's clarify. I have no idea who Lil Mama is. At this point, if you tell me such and such famous wealthy rapper said a thing, I'm just going to be like, yep, that sounds like a rapper's name because they just call themselves whatever they want. I call myself whatever I want. We all just took screen names to the outside world. Quite frankly, it's one of the best things ever. But this person, Lil Mama, has been criticized in the past for having done a transphobia and is now doubling down on that shit. And the reason I found out about it is this tweet, right? Lil Mama pledges to start a heterosexual rights movement to advocate against the bullying heterosexuals allegedly face from the LGBTQIA+ community. Here is Lil Mama if you wanted some context. Okay, that's what she looks like. And here is something she posted on her Instagram story. I'm about to start a heterosexual rights movement, anti-LGBTQ bullying. Y'all fight so hard to be respected, and some of you, not all, they always say this shit. Get a kick out of bullying people for having an opinion. How they dress, how their hair and or makeup looks, how much money they have, etc. There are so many people afraid to give their honest opinion because if they do, the LGBTQ will hear what they want to hear and take statements out of context. I don't have to prove myself by reminding people that I have loved ones of the LGBTQ+ community. When I speak, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just speaking my truth, just like you all. The heterosexuals are not okay. What the heterosexual fuck is this? Okay, this is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Okay, so here we go. Rapper Lil Mama doubles down on transphobic comments and says she will start a heterosexual rights movement. Facing renewed backlash for anti-LGBTQ comments. Fucking good. 2009 clip of the rapper making an anti-trans comment surfaced on America's Best Dance Crew. Oh, well, I just Frankensteined that sentence, but you know what? It came out okay. And you know, we've talked in the past about how it's a bit silly to bring up something that's an old bit of content, an old thing that someone has done, but in this particular circumstance, where she has decided, why did I even close the where is it? Why did I even close the tweet? I'm going to keep that up for context's sake. As we have seen here, she obviously ain't done with this shit. Oh, hang on. In her Instagram story, she said she was going to start a heterosexual rights movement, as we said. And then, this most important piece of news, visit Insider's homepage for more stories. No, anyway. Lil Mama, the rapper behind the hit song Lip Gloss, literally never heard of it, said in an Instagram story she's planning to start a heterosexual rights movement alleging that straight people face bullying from the LGBT community. What the absolute fuck is wrong with that statement? And go. Folks, do you see do I need to even elaborate? Need I elucidate the issue that we are already faced with in the first paragraph? Straight people face bullying from the LGBTQ community. You know, I've never seen a gang of queer folks roaming around the streets drunk late at night saying that they're gonna go and bash a straight, like kick his teeth into the curb. Never once in my life heard a group of gay people say they want to go out hunting down the straights. Unironically. You know, I've heard quite a few gay people making jokes, but the amount of straight people I've heard legitimately saying they would cave in a fag's head. Yes, I'm going to use the F slur. I'm allowed to. Right? The amount of times I've heard that exact thing. And you're going to have a little bit of a bitch and a whinge about LGBTQ bullying on the internet. Yeah. I needed to add a little bit of emphasis there. Because that's literally, that emphasis really hammers the point home. I've heard so many straight people vehemently state about gay people that they see them as subhuman and would like to extinguish them. I've heard so many of these people. And it's not just It's not just gay people. It's now, of course, because being gay is a lot more normalized these days. Now it's trans people. And trans people are fighting so hard for acceptance. And any time that we do defend ourselves in an online capacity, it comes across in some way. Like, some people do have a tendency to... I actually probably shouldn't use it because, you know, even in the case of the context here, I probably shouldn't because I just got suspended for a stupid reason. Anyway, that's not the point. Hardly the point. The amount of times that I've heard anti-queer folks, homophobes, transphobes, etc., completely straight-faced, that's kind of amusing, say that they want to kill queer folks. Say that if their child was to come out as gay, that they would disown them and probably bash them. Like, this is a prevalent, common thing. This is not an uncommon thing. Yeah, uncountable. This is regular. This is routine for queer folks. We regularly face this kind of backlash. And Lil Mama, I'm going to say it, Lil Mama, I hate to break it to you, sweetheart, you are snowflaking pretty hard right now. So what are they upset about? What honestly are the heterosexuals upset about? The audacity that somebody from the queer community might just snap back. I like how the auto mod got "she's a cuck" there. Anyway, the fact that it's more than likely, it's probably the same kind of situation as the J.K. Rowling situation, right? Where they'll post something that is obstinately transphobic. I'm not sure if I used the word... Hang on. Obstinate. Stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or chosen course of action. Yes. Hey, J-Salt, how's it going? What's up, Connie? Yes, obstinately. So, you know, the amount of times these people will post something like, remember J.K. Rowling's little essay that she posted, 4,000 words on her blog called Turf Wars? Of course the trans community was going to lash out at that. Of course the trans community is going to say to J.K. Rowling, what you did is a shit thing, and you shouldn't have done a shit thing. Maybe you should have considered that before you went and targeted a minority group. And this is exactly the same thing. They'll always frame it under the guise of like, oh, am I not allowed to have my own opinion? Am I not allowed to have my free speech on the internet now? Am I going to get cancelled for saying something that the queers disagree with? And that's ultimately what this all comes from. And it continues, this story. We've already gone off on a tangent on the first paragraph. Let's continue reading it. The story, which said the movement will be called anti-LGBTQ bullying, comes after several previous transphobic remarks from the rapper. Y'all fight so hard to be respected, and some of you, not all, we already talked about this concept here. Some of you, not all, then what the hell are you getting your underwear in a twist about? Some of you get a kick out of bullying people for having an option. I think she was supposed to say having an opinion. I'm just gonna... Oh, well, I've got it open in this tab. Having an option... I think she was supposed to say having an opinion. How they dress, how their hair or makeup looks, how much money they have. And like, here's the thing, right? How often do queer folks get the piss taken out of them for how they dress? Oh, you got colored hair. Oh, why is that dude wearing makeup? Oh, why is that... I'm trying to just give examples here. Why is that man wearing colorful tight pants? And then, like, when we snap back about how... And I've made the joke about how there's default characters. You know, you see a bloke wearing blue jeans and a polo shirt, and I'm just like, you are so straight. Like, so straight. Favorite is when they say cis is a slur. I know. It's like, it's literally just the opposite of trans with regards to the etymology of what trans means. Trans meaning opposite, cis meaning same as. It's literally the opposite of a slur. Cis being a slur is trans to slurs. Does that make any sense? No, not really. So she's here being upset about the fact that people are making fun of them, especially this shit, right? Especially this shit. Now, never punch down at someone for having a lot of money. I mean, for having no money, sorry. Never punch down at someone who's poor. That's in bad taste. Punch up at people who have a lot of money? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes. We are allowed to punch up. How their hair and makeup looks. How they dress. Again, this is all stuff that has been routinely weaponized against queer people in the first place. To the point where in a lot of media that you've consumed over the years, I guarantee you, you have seen a number of villains in any number of different animated films, live action films, who are specifically queer coded. Go back and watch some of your favorite movies and just tell me if you can spot the queer coding in villains, right? Who is Little Mama anyway, Duck Skeleton? Good question. This is literally the first time I've ever heard of her, and it's transphobia. It's not a good look. Not a good first impression. Little Mama, whose real name is I honestly don't care, claims straight people are afraid to be honest about their opinions because if they do, the LGBTQ+ will hear what they want to hear and take statements out of context. Which is stupid because we can read between the lines. We can read between the lines, dude. When we see what you're saying, again, this comes back to the J.K. Rowling thing, is she was saying a lot of statements that just sort of worked around what she was trying to say. But the moment you start to unpack it, you look at the different ways that she's phrasing things. You're like, we know what you're really saying here. We understand, like we hear what we want to hear because we understand what you're actually trying to say. And you're trying to frame your arguments when you're making these statements about the LGBTQ+. We know you are subtly trying to hide your true intentions behind conveniently convincing language. Okay? And again, it comes back to this shit. She said she is not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just speaking my truth like you all. Which, you know, if your truth is transphobia and queerphobia in general, then sure. The pro-heterosexuality rhetoric. The pro-heterosexuality rhetoric comes after more than a decade of the rapper spreading transphobic language. In 2009, as a judge on MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, she told a transgender dance crew leader, "I just feel that you always have to remember your truth. You were born a man and you are becoming a woman." Why do you ever need to say that to a transgender person? Genuine question to everyone in chat. In what capacity, under what circumstance do you ever need to say that to a trans person? Do they think we're unfamiliar with the reality of the situation? It's like looking at someone dead in their eyes and saying, look, I think you just need to face the reality that the grass is green. The water is wet. Like, what? Thank you, Captain Obvious. But we didn't need that. We're aware of ourselves. Believe me, being trans is very much about self-awareness. We are aware of this shit. We know what's going on. Trust me. You don't need to say it. Footage of the interaction recently resurfaced on Twitter. Lil Mama also faced backlash last week after sharing a transphobic tweet on her Instagram story. The tweet, which followed former First Lady Michelle Obama's interview with 13-year-old Zaya Wade, who is transgender, questioned why teenagers would be allowed to transition. On March 16, she took to Instagram Live to elaborate on those anti-trans comments and compared transsexuality to depopulation. Also, Phage, very good question. Is water actually wet? That actually is a valid point. Are we saying water is wet? Or are things that are impacted by water are wet? We're getting into some deep shit right here. I'm not Thales of Militus. Anyway. Lil Mama is being called transphobic, which she is, after she got on Instagram Live last night to explain her comments about trans children and depopulation on March 18th. Should we watch this? You want to watch this? Thank you, Jacinta. Excuse me. I should get some fake nails. I got some fake nails, but they're too sharp, so I'm going to get some, like, flat ones. Excuse me. Shall we, Thank you, Dissenter. You're doing well. Water can be dry when in space, but that's in its most solid state. True. Depopulation. Shall we watch this? It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds of her talking shit, shall we? I feel it's relevant to the content, so, you know.
You're an adult, do your thing. That's fine, you're an adult. But let children be children.
Right.
And the other thing I was pointing...
Can I just interrupt already? Let children be children. Okay. Well, what if that child feels completely uncomfortable in their gender identity? And then you're just going to say, well, you know, as an adult, do whatever you want to do. But, like, what do they think gender is an adult-only thing? Do they think gender is just something that only happens when you're an adult, when you turn 18? Like, no, mate. That's not how that works at all. Again, if I had been given exposure to actual trans people that wasn't so incredibly problematic when I was a teenager, I would have transitioned a lot earlier.
The thing out is, why is the government so easily able to help with this? Why does the government encourage this? Why do they want children to manipulate their gender all of a sudden?
Right, and then that's when
What? Why does the government... What did he say?
Children to manipulate this. Why does the government encourage this? Why do they...
Hang on a second. I've just realized it's really fucking quiet. I hate this. Okay. Why does the government encourage this? What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The government does not want to encourage this.
Want children to manipulate their gender all of a sudden.
Right, and then that's when I reposted and I put that it's basically depopulation. So if you have little girls that like little girls, then you won't have children. If you have little boys that like little boys, then you won't have children. If you have little boys that think they're girls more so, and we believe in that notion without them even going through puberty or giving them an opportunity to figure out who they truly are, we'll have more confusion and less babies.
There are over 8 billion people on the planet and an extremely high amount of children in first world countries who are living in foster housing and are going to wind up homeless and are not going to have lives, and you're worried about Depop. That's... Oops. That's not a thing. There's no need to worry about depopulation. Folks, we're going to destroy the planet before we run out of human beings. I guarantee you. Not even, and that's not true even if what she was saying were. Yes, indeed, there are entirely too many people on this rock to begin with. We have many, many options for increasing population if need be, and there is no need at this current stage. There is no need. This is an absolute deflection. This is an entire deflection of the real issues here. You know, they're just trying to find something to latch onto, in this case, depopulation. They're worried about, you know, the trans and the gays are going to start wiping out everyone else because we're not breeding anymore. Depopulation sound nice right now. I'll take a good Depop on like Sunday. It's like they desperately want to deflect to some other issue instead of actually focusing on real systemic issues. Real systemic actual political issues. Being queer is just a factor of humanity. It's just a factor of the reality we live in. I'm trans, I'm gay. You know, that's just... I didn't choose that. I didn't opt into this, right? This is not a decision I made. Did you hear before he mentioned adults can make adult decisions when they're grown up, whatever, who cares, right? That kind of a deflective idea of like, what he's saying there is that teenagers and children do not have any agency of their own, cannot think for themselves. Has he been around kids? And even if you do decide it, which you don't, honestly, unironically, you don't decide it, but you absolutely have a good point there, Wango. There is no decision being made here. It's not something you choose. The only thing you do choose is whether to suppress that or not, whether to repress that or not. You know, just want a big damn queer party. We can have a queer party here. Anyway.
That's my point. Now, when it comes to people who choose to be gay or choose to be lesbian...
And we're right into the choose to be gay, choose to be lesbian shit. Before, again, I am, quite frankly, psychic. I can predict this shit coming a mile away, because they always say the exact same shit every single time.
Or choose to change their sexuality with the mind frame of an adult, and you're able to do that on your own. I don't have anything.
Choose to change their sexuality with the mind frame of an adult. Those are words.
Against you. I have gay family members. I have lesbian family members as
Yep,
well as friends.
same.
And I don't judge grown people who make grown choices.
Okay, so is she saying, I'm going to put this out there, excuse me, a lot of teens, of course, are going to come into their sexuality and their gender identity and all that sort of stuff when they are going through puberty, when they are going through that moment. Like, once you hit anywhere from like 10 to 12 to 14 maybe, you start to, like, when you're a kid, when you're a little kid, I guess there is some concept of like your gender and all that kind of stuff, and maybe you have an idea of like, do you like boys, do you like girls, whatever. Yeah, the audio quality is horrible, it's terrible. Like, you have a little bit of an idea, but once you're a teenager, once you transition into teenhood, I suppose could be the word here, like, you start to actually unpack and realize these feelings you have about your sexuality and gender, right? There's a reason, once you're in high school and stuff like that, you'll notice a ton of other students in school start pairing off and start forming relationships, right? Because they are finally understanding those things. And what she's saying essentially is, these people who are beginning to experience and wanting to experiment with their gender and sexuality and understand themselves on an intrinsic level should wait until they are of legal age to drink, or, well, legal age to serve in the military. She's American. They can't drink until 21 for some stupid reason. I mean, I would much rather be downing an entire bottle of Traminer Riesling than going overseas with an M16 or what have you. It's beside the point. So yeah, look at this. I've just noticed this fucking tweet that's been up on the screen the entire time by this person, Riza Islam. I'm assuming that's probably who she's talking to. I'm not sure. So children are too young to smoke cigarettes, too young to drink alcohol, too young to get a driver's license, too young to go to a club, too young to gamble, too young to rent a car, but old enough to cut off their genitals and or change their gender. Again, legitimately, no one is doing sex change operations on children. Where did this idea come from? Where did this come from? Ridiculous. Wonder if she's part of the Nation of Islam, as lots of LGBTQ hate comes from that group. If you ever look into the comments pre-Muhammad Ali and post him being brainwashed then by his views on women and non-straight people, switches over dramatically to very fascist. Wouldn't shock me. Anyway, yeah, children are not getting operations. They might get a tooth removed. They might have their appendix out. They might have a broken bone fixed up, but they're not getting their genitals reassigned. Stupid. Hello, Amator. Hello, Unicorn. How you folks going? We're reacting to transphobes.
But when we're talking about these babies,
Oh my god, the audio quality is fucking killing me. Anyway, let's keep going.
we have to be very mindful about what they're being fed. Because if my niece comes to me and she say, Auntie, I want to be a boy. And I'm like, why, Chinky? Oh, because I was watching a show with Sasa, and boys are very strong. They know how to shoot basketballs. They win when it comes to like tussling and little fights. And I'm like, well, you don't have to be a boy for that. And I can explain these things to her that she may be confused about. But if she's telling me, I think that I am a boy, and she still feels that after she goes through puberty, I'm not going to.
Again, this comes back to the issue, of course, of we have the capacity. Unicorn, there you go. We have the capacity to give children puberty blockers, which are, again, entirely medically reversible as an option. If a teenager feels like they are not the gender that they've been assigned at birth, we have the option to give them puberty blockers to stem the tide of secondary sex characteristics that develop during puberty. And what she's essentially saying is no puberty blockers for these kids, no hormones that will allow them to feel more comfortable in the gender that they are comfortable with, She would rather they go through the entire puberty in the first place, which can cause tremendous emotional trauma, tremendous dysphoria among trans people, which, of course, exacerbates other mental health issues, such as, for example, depression and anxiety and any number of other things. You get the point I'm making, I hope. They think this is what it is to be trans. Yeah, they think that's what it is to be trans. They have no idea. They have no idea whatsoever. They have no idea what it is to be trans. They have no idea what it is to be gay. They've been talking about being gay as well, being gay and lesbian. They think it's a choice. You get the feeling they just rather we keep offing ourselves. These are the kind of people who would legitimately make the argument, like, why would you want to choose to be transgender? Again, careful choice of language. That's the kind of wording they use. When 41% of transgender people commit suicide. There's a fucking reason, you idiots.
Label her insane. I'm going to listen to her, take heed, and support her. But we're talking about making children feel like they can make a choice of changing their genitals before they even go through puberty. You don't even know who you are or what you like.
Again, you can't do surgery on a child's genitals unless, I don't know, they've been in an accident and they need to have genital reconstruction surgery, but what's the likelihood of that?
Young women are talking about BBLs and things like that before their breasts and their buttocks are even fully developed. So
that's right.
What's she breasts and buttocks? What's she talking about? What? Again, and that's the thing. It's like if a trans man, if a teen trans man is forced to go through a feminine puberty and develop those things. Yeah, butts do develop. Like, female puberty is generally development of the breasts and butt and hips and widening of the hip bones. I don't know if something happens to your ribs. I can't recall. And then, of course, periods. You know, you get the idea. She's talking about boob jobs. Why is she talking about boob jobs? Do they know what it's been standard? Do they know that it's been standard procedure to correct the genitals on intersex kids without even consulting the parents? I doubt she even knows what intersex is. Not launching an ad hominem attack, but she strikes me as a person who has no idea what she's saying, but keeps on with it because that is what you do. Start talking and continue talking. Is that a personal attack on me? Whole thing about choosing to be gay screams a suppressed choice. Like, again, we come back to the J.K. Rowling video essay, how she says if she were born in, you know, the last 30 years and been raised in this culture, she may have transitioned herself. And I'm like, Joanne, darling, sweetie, you're a billionaire. Seek a therapist and talk about them issues, sweetheart. I'm not saying that J.K. Rowling is a suppressed trans man, but, like, if that's the kind of thing you're thinking, please talk to a psychiatrist.
Be very sensitive and mindful when we're dealing with our children. We are not talking about grown people who can make the choice to do
Not a choice.
and be whatever they choose to do and be. We're talking about children who may even look at us later on and say, well, why did you let me do that? And it's like, I wanted to be in support of you.
Again, they deflect it and they blame the idea of being trans and being gay and all of that on the person who's made the decision. This is the end of the video anyway, so I might as well stop it there. She's decided to foist all of this on the person transitioning or the person being gay, and then acting as though after the fact they're going to have a regret. You know, they're treating it like they're treating it like the Keira Bell case. They're treating it like the Keira Bell detransition case. They're acting like every trans person, excuse me, you're welcome for that one. They're acting like every trans person is either A, going to be the Keira Bell situation, go through heavy transition surgery and everything, and then regret it and detransition. For the record, for anyone who is not aware, Keira Bell had no support network. Okay, Keira Bell has become an antagonist to the trans community due to her involvement in the Bell v Tavistock Clinic case, which has made it excessively difficult for teens in the UK to get puberty blockers and any further trans treatment, quite frankly. Because Keira Bell transitioned to male and then detransitioned after being on hormones for a while, had a double mastectomy. I don't know if she had bottom surgery or not, but detransitioned because she went on a podcast at some point and told her story, and she was not only surrounded by nobody supportive in her family whatsoever, nobody wanted her to transition, she was actively surrounded by transphobic people on a regular basis who were coercing her to detransition in the first place. I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't want to manifest someone else's retransition, but I would entirely be unsurprised if she retransitions, right? after, and as far as I know, the lawsuit that was committed against Tavistock was initiated by her mother, and it wasn't until it was underway that she was involved in it in any capacity. But she became a spokesperson for the TERF movement in the UK. Keira Bell's refused to call herself a woman. There we go. That makes matters even... Yeah, could be NB, which is entirely fine. They could be NB. I might as well just start referring to them as they. And until they label themselves, and labels are hard, labels are difficult. But that's another, example of this entire thing, is that this Lil Mama person and the guy she's speaking to have got this idea in their heads that trans people are going through a phase and they're going to regret it, and they're going to say to their family and friends, like, why didn't you stop me from making this ridiculous decision? Now I look stupid. That's the way they see us. They see us as someone who's going through a phase in their life because, get this right, trans people are already less than 1% of the world's population, right? Less than 1% of trans people detransition. And a significant chunk of people who detransition later retransition. That's not to say that detransitioning people are bad or anything like that. They're not. We should support those folks among, I guess you could say they are among the trans community who do detransition. They are entirely valid in their choice to do so, or what have you. And like not every detransitioner sees the trans community as some kind of vile, hateful crowd that excommunicates everybody who disagrees with every single viewpoint they have on transition. The effect of social coercion on detransitioning should be considered as well. Yes, exactly. Like I mentioned before, Keira Bell was surrounded by people who were not supportive and were actively coercing them to go and detransition in the first place and start this entire scenario around the Bell v. Tavistock case. Yeah, people don't do this on a whim. They don't. They absolutely do not. Anyway, let's get our music back on because we're done listening to that video. We don't need to continue watching that. Anti-trans rhetoric has frequently been spreading in mainstream online spaces with the so-called super straight movement. Recently going viral on TikTok and Reddit. Representatives for Lil Mama did not immediately respond to Insider's request for comment, and that's that article. So there we have it. There we have the synopsis of the scenario that we're going through at the moment. This is life, this is identity. I think Keira was just snapped up by the LGBs immediately as a mascot. Absolutely. That's the viewpoint I've had. That's the view I've seen on it. Pit Princess, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? Got to start your day. Radio Detroit sounds good. Have a good one. Have a delightful one. But yeah, overall, really ridiculous set of circumstances for all involved. I don't know why anyone thinks that Lil Mama is anyone to take the opinion of with regards to the straights and the gays and the anti-LGBTQ bullying movement. Is really a bizarre way to frame things. What'd she call it? The heterosexual pride movement or something? Hang on. What'd she call it? Heterosexual rights movement? Heterosexual folks already have all the rights, though. How many more do you need? Anyway, that's that story. I think we're about done with that one. Any final thoughts? Anyone have any final thoughts on that? Oh my god, Botwick, for goodness sake. What started this super straight movement anyway? It was a TikTok. It was a TikTok that... What happened? What the heck happened? Hello, IQ. How you going? Well, I think it was a TikTok. Where some dude was like making remarks about how he wouldn't date a trans person. And then, saying that his friends would say, oh, well, that's transphobic, blah, blah, blah. And then the furthering of the discussion. What happened? Hang on, let me think. What happened? So he said he wouldn't date a trans person because he wouldn't date a trans woman because she has a penis. That's a dude. Like, that was vaguely his wording in the TikTok. And then I think 4chan took that and ran with it and started a meme that was designed around making the super straight thing into an actual social media movement. So they got it trending on Twitter. They started a subreddit, which eventually got shut down. I don't know if it was anywhere else. It was on YouTube. Like, some people have made YouTube videos about it because, of course, they have, like, Blair White made one, in which Blair White made a video on the super straight movement in which she said, if you are a straight man who finds her attractive, you're at least a little bit gay. And I'm like, you've got some real self-loathing issues. Anywho, you've got a link. What's it a link to? I have a question. Why are these people afraid of the LGBTQIA community? They bothered about skin color because of a supposed loss of culture due to marriages, but sexual orientation and gender perception is... Don't know why the world is against this. Why cannot they just leave us alone? Good question. Because they want to have something to be angry about, quite frankly. That's it at the end of the day. They want something to feel superior to. Yeah, some people can't separate genitals from identity, which is really bizarre. I suppose the prefix gen probably plays a lot into that. They probably think, oh, gender, genitals, thereby your genitals determine your gender. And then what do you do if someone is intersex and has both sex genitals? Like, what's the argument there? Where do you go from that point? You know, it's ridiculous. Some people are ridiculous. At any rate, that was a good discussion. I liked that. Generation duh. Quite earlier, genitals was commonly referred to as sex. True. It still is in some contexts. Oh, the link from IQ. Okay. What is it? Is it safe? Fat jewel rip and it's vocoded. Oh god. Hang on. Okay, I'm just checking it. Same sugar-free mother. I shouldn't be drinking it. I said to myself I wouldn't do this anymore, and I've just buckled on that. Okay.
This is the fruity one they have. Well.
Oh, fuck. That's good shit. I love vocoded stuff. It's funny as fuck. Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh. It scared you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Oh look, it's one of these. We got one of those in chat again. Just chatting is awesome. Maybe we should continue being in just chatting. Should we continue in just chatting? Am I safe from the floods? Yes, I am. And actually, that's a good point to bring up. I have not experienced like significant flooding, but let's actually bring this up really quickly for anyone who missed it. We'll talk about residents evacuate homes in Sydney's west as wild weather continues to batter New South Wales. We've been experiencing a quite significant amount of rain, and some places in New South Wales are actually flooding, which is, you know, fun to deal with. People are saying climate change isn't real, by the way. Can you believe it? Residents have begun to leave their homes in Sydney's west after the New South Wales State Emergency Service issued immediate flood evacuation orders for western parts of Penrith. The communities of Mulgoa and Jamieson have also been affected but have until 9 p.m. to seek shelter. Ellen Brabin has lived in the area for more than 40 years and has never seen the flood levels rise this bad before. If anything should tip you off to the idea of climate change, you've lived in an area for 40 years. I'm not saying she doubts climate change, but like, if this woman's lived in this area for 40 years, has never seen the flood levels rise this bad before, that's a hint that something's bad. Anyway. What's up, Sad? How you going? Long Jetty waterfront properties are going to cop a flood. Oh, great. Seen all the floods and stuff, but never had to move before, so this is different. The street will always go up, but this time around I've noticed that usually when the rain eases up, it disappears. This time it's not disappearing like it used to. There's definitely something different about it. With her dog packed into the back of her car, I'm assuming they missed the word car. Why do we keep coming across articles where they haven't finished writing the bloody things? Ms. Brabin was going to her sister's place to wait for the water to recede. Ellen Brabin is among the residents in Western Penrith that have been forced to leave their homes due to flooding. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian earlier today warned the 4,000 people around the Hawkesbury Valley to be on standby to evacuate. Excuse me. The rainfall will likely receive for the next few days is beyond anyone's expectations. The rainfall will likely receive... I think that's supposed to... Again, this hasn't... Who's editing these news articles? ABC, oh my god, please hire an editor. The rainfall will likely receive for the next few days beyond anyone's expectations. It's why our first and foremost priority is to make sure people have to evacuate have a plan, so if they are asked to evacuate, they do it quickly. That is our absolute priority. He described flooding in parts of Western Sydney as a 1.5 century event and said 16 local government areas, primarily in the north of the state, had been declared a national disaster so far. People have been encouraged to prepare to work from home and keep children out of school this week. New South Wales SES Commissioner Carleen York said there will be a number of schools that we advise will be closing, including the mid-north coast area. Going to work, even though you hope it may not be affected, your work premises may be affected in some areas, so once again know that if you need to go to work, make arrangements to work from home. We do not want people on the roads putting themselves at risk, their families at risk, and rescue volunteers attending at risk. It just keeps going on. Like, here's some examples. For example, like there's, you can see the flooding behind them. Lovely selfie, with, you know, flood. And here's a kid's playground. Like, that's a swing set, for goodness sake. You know how big swing sets are, generally speaking. This platform here would probably be about up to my chest, or like just, you know, stomach or chest sort of region. This is how bad it is. Look at this. Like, goodness gracious me, it's been pouring down. Hasn't been anything like this near my place. My driveway is flooded a bit. But, babe, come over here and we can take a selfie with the flood in the back. Oh, isn't that a lovely picture? We should put that in a picture frame. It got destroyed when the flood ruined our house. Hey, Weather Roads, how's it going? Is there a water slide? Was the fires last year? There was fires and flooding last year in Australia simultaneously. Why don't these people just follow Ben Shapiro's advice and sell their house to mermaids if they can't, they can't handle a little flood? Like, look at this. Hawkesbury Nepean River is swollen with rainfall thanks to the dangerous weather system moving south. Yeah, more places completely buried underwater. Look at the little babies next to a flood. Someone's house going under. Port Macquarie is still inundated with floodwaters, while a landslide in Newcastle left a house's balcony teetering on the brink. So that was that up here. This one. So obviously that was supported by the landmass underneath it. Gonna go to bed though, it's extremely late at night. Sounds good. Have a good one, Wither. Thank you so kindly for swinging by. But that gives you a basic overview. Like, we won't go into the finer details because I'm not a weather person. I don't do the weather, but this is rather important and it's a good indicator of, you know, how bad shit is with regards to the climate. Excuse me. And then, of course, we've got the SES saying, plan now for what you will do. Discussing your plan will help your household, property, or business have a shared understanding of what you will need to do if it floods. An effective plan should outline key heights that your property and local roads are affected by floodwater, identify the key triggers for action, the different steps you should take to protect your household and property, key contacts, and identify routes to reach your safe place. Work with others in your property on a shared plan to practice it with them regularly. To help households and businesses plan for flooding, the New South Wales SES has developed a home emergency plan and business flood safe kit. These are available free of charge from your local NSW SES unit or here at the link. So if you are in New South Wales and you are experiencing the floods and all of that kind of stuff, there you go. There's some stuff for you. Saw the dude with the chainsaw and thought he was holding a trombone. Your foster kitten is finally eating. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Good kitty. We like the good kitty. Good kitty cat. We love to hear it. Get big and strong, kitty cat. Eklund, how you doing, lovely? What's going on? Alright, let's see here. Where was that one? Let me tick these off as I go, because we already covered the transphobe rapper and the part of Sydney's north evacuated. What are our thoughts on the weather? Aside from climate change is really obvious, like duh. We should be actively working against this. Fostering her for a friend who is unable to constantly feed her, so you're not naming her, but you've just been calling her Toes. Toes is adorable. We love it. That's fantastic. Just finished work. Stream is going well. We've had a few transphobes in, of course, as you usually do. It's always the case. And we actually did have a big story just moments ago about a transphobic rapper who's doubling down on transphobic comments. There's always one. It's always going to be at least one. And they're just going to keep going. Heterosexual rights movement. Like... What do they think the queer rights movement is about? It's not about being bullied on the internet, okay? It's about protecting queer people from literal violence. Have a laugh at my unbanned request. Okay, we'll do the unbanned request and then I'm going to take a break. Because I need to take a leak. Where is it? I have to go... I think I have to go show chat and then I have to go unbanned requests. One new unbanned request. Where is it? One new unbanned request. One new unbanned request. Hey, don't play me. It says there are 3 unbanned requests. Or is this like 3 messages from this person? Okay. Oh my god, this is a banger of a fucking unbanned request, okay? I am inclined to believe my ban is representative of the recent white on Asian hate that I see in America. This person's taking the piss. I do not believe anything they're saying is legitimate. As a MTF Asian, I hope that the trans community of all people will be more accepting and understanding. I guess being trans isn't enough. I have to be white too. Even within the trans community, I am not accepted. You're a fucking liar. I don't believe you for a second. Like, they're just like, it's like a bingo card. Just ticking off every possible way to... What did they say? What led to them getting banned? They were making comments about me farting, which didn't happen. They called me him, which again, incorrect. The mods being overly aggressive for temporarily blocking me. And then in response to someone who was asking how many genders there are, this person goes, I was taught there are 2. Yeah, they were banned for being a transphobe. That's it. End of discussion. Should I deny them? That look I gave you is epic. I can never remember which looks I gave. If you see a good, like, honestly, be quick on the trigger with this. It might be a good idea. If you see me pull a good face, try to screenshot it. Anyway, let me go back to... I'm just gonna leave it sitting there in my unbanned requests. Sarcastic Abby is amazing. Well, I'm glad to entertain you in that capacity. That's what I want. Yeah, I could tell everybody's ethnicity through their comments on the internet. Absolutely. Yep. I can absolutely tell what color your skin is by the text you put on my screen. Totally. Like... And they were banned for being a transphobe. I always thought there are 2 genders. If you are a trans person and you want to deny non-binary identities, get the fuck out. Like, why would I care what your opinion is? Let the chat decide if they get unbanned. Okay. Hang on, let's just go. Okay. And go. Remember, you can also cheer to get more votes if you want to. They are still banned, but they've put in an unban request, which was that message we just read for anyone who missed it. Unbanned content is fun. Playing Surviving Mars, they keep committing suicide. What? Why? Who is saying unbanned? What do you think they'll actually come back? Do you think they're watching? Are you watching? Not that you can message us. You can DM me though. I mean, I will admit, you know, letting someone back in is oh, for goodness sake, Botwick. Sorry, sad hap. It's deleted your message because you said super straight. It just does. It times people out for saying it. Those of us who vote unban are the kind who love blood sports. Oh, welcome in, Halcyon. So let me read your message, sad because it got deleted. It's like this narcissistic privilege you see in reactionary counter movements like All Lives Matter, Super Straight, Bad Faith, Transphobes, like in this case. They reverse the in-group, out-group dynamic on its head and pretend to be the oppressed ones. It's basic conservative projection. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I got sick of people asking about the Super Straight thing because, it was always a bad faith argument to bring in the Super Straight discussion into my chat. So I just had it set to my bot automatically just deletes the message. You get like a 1-second timeout. You time someone out and they messaged you. Does it tell you who times you out if you get timed out or banned? I wasn't even sure it did that. Folks, it's like literally 38% to 62%. 5 votes for unban, 8 votes for deny. You really want to see me rip into this person, don't you? You could time me out, but you're just fulfilling my sub fantasies. Yeah, 1 second timeout. George Orwell, 1987. Oh, hello, super bad guy. How you going? Chat wants a pet. Ah, Pit Princess, thank you for contributing 100 bits to the deny. All right, we're denying them. How do I do it? Let me bring up review unban requests. All right. Why do I have 3 requests? I'm going to send them back. So deny their request. How do I deny decision? Lol, no. I've also got 2 more sitting in there apparently. It says there's 2 more requests sitting there, but there's nothing actually there. Oh my god, I got a whisper. I should have just said chat said no. LaMayo. Anyway, I need to pee. I'll check this message in a minute because I am entirely unsurprised that they would DM me. Okay. You folks, entertain yourselves for a moment. I need to pee desperately, and I'm going to come back with some strawberry spumante. Toss a coin to your witcher. It's the wrong medallion. Not from the Netflix series. I don't have that one. Hello, 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 hello. What's going on? Is this another thing? Well, is this okay? Is this link okay? Someone veto that link for me so that I can make sure. How did my viewership jump up by like 9 people while I was on a Be Right Back screen? Is my pixel art that engaging? Do you like my pixel art? Honestly, The Witcher 3 is quite nice. I do enjoy The Witcher 3, but the thing is, I'm never playing it again. I'm never playing The Witcher 3 again, and I say this as someone who has done multiple hundreds of hours of Skyrim. You rated me? Is that what happened? Oh yeah, you did. Thank you for that, Kiara. How are you, by the way? As someone who's done hundreds upon hundreds of hours of Skyrim, I'm never replaying The Witcher 3 again. Because, quite frankly, the reality of the situation is it's a very exhausting game after you've gotten to the end and done the DLC and everything. You've had enough. Trust me, you've had enough. Is it copyright though? You need help to pass the Ice Temple of Link to the Past? Link is just a cursed video. Alright. We'll take a gander. We'll take a gander. Cursed Moana. Well, I'm worried about Moana because I think DMCA. I don't know. No music? Okay.
Hey! I got something shiny for ya.
You can't run from me. Oh, you can. There's only so far you can get on those 2 little legs. The power of creation.
What the fuck? Loud.
Wait a minute. I see. She's taken a barnacle and she's covered it in bioluminescent algae as a diversion.
That's okay. Alright. I think to someone that's supposed to be funny though. That was just like the most minimal effort. Again, Witcher 3, a game you've played and forget about. I enjoyed The Witcher 3. I think the story's quite good. But the combat leaves a lot to be desired, quite frankly, is my major issue with it. And you've got to do so much combat. The Wombat. There's an idea for a video game. Let's make a video game called Combat the Wombat. Hey Jesu, how you doing? You love the fit today? I'm glad you like it. I was feeling like I needed something cute and warm. And, Mortal Wombat. Yeah, exactly. Combat the Wombat could be like one of those collectathon platformer things, but there is actual combat in it. Where you actually fight enemies. And it's not like as dog shit as Yooka-Laylee. Which was fucking shit, and I refuse to believe any arguments to the contrary. I really tried to like it. The girl I was seeing really liked it, because she really enjoyed Banjo-Kazooie when she was a kid. So we got into Yooka-Laylee, and I was like, ugh. It was a chore, it was a slog. Have a great time zone, have a good one. You gotta get going, Rena, have a good one. Do we look at this DM from this person? What do you think they've said? Taking bets on what they've said. I haven't opened the DM yet. The person we just refused the unban of. You know, we're gonna open their DM and find out what they said. Touching on what you said earlier, that if a straight man can find a trans person good looking can only happen if there's a tiny amount of gay in them, is telling about the society does not even consider the trans community to be made of people by alienating them from beauty. Exactly. Witcher 3, the story and options made you go mad. Yeah, like the story, it's a good game. It's a very good game. CD Projekt Red actually did well on that one as opposed to Cyberpunk. My room is so vibey. Thank you, Rhiannon. Appreciate it. Look at my fucking fairy lights though. They're dying again. I'm going to throw those out. If someone has a recommendation for good quality, long-lasting fairy lights, I'm going to look this up. Because, oh yeah, by the way, Spumante. We got our Spumante, folks. Because I hate these ones. You put batteries in them, a week later they're dead. It's fucking shit. I hate it. CDPR. Yeah, CDPR. I think, honestly, my personal hypothesis on Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red both screwed it and got screwed on it.
Welcome back,
Oh my goodness.
supporter of the cause.
NBSP, thank you for...
Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're so good at it.
Good shit. NBSP, welcome back to 2 months of Tier 1. Thank you so kindly. You lovely, lovely person, you. CDPR got screwed by Cyberpunk. They did. It was a combination of they had far too grand ambitions for this project. Investors really wanted to make sure the game was out in a certain reasonable time frame because they really wanted that money from the people who were buying it. So the investors didn't want to piss off the fan base, and they, like, CD Projekt Red were not given anywhere near enough time to finish that game. They needed at least, like Jim Sterling said, at least 3 more years. Cyberpunk 2077 was an absolute failure because they were just never given enough time. Ended up moving to mobile so you can back up, so you still... Yeah. You want to hear this DM? Okay, let's crack it open. Prepare yourself for a stream of abuse. What is it? I am still watching. Believe we came from the wrong foot. Apologize for offending you. English is not my first language. Believe it was a miscommunication. The offense was unintentional. I'm new to the trans community, so sometimes I say the wrong thing. Not abusive. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. What do we think? I'll give you folks another. This could be our follow-up unban. So here we go. I probably should. You know, should we give them benefit of the doubt here? I mean, I didn't make the ban decision in the first place. I probably would have timed out. But anyway, we're doing a second unban and deny situation. You say a second chance, but only one. Well, I should have framed it. Second chance, yes or no. Mark Zuckerberg in Cyberpunk looks more realistic than real Zuckerberg. Wait, is Mark Zuckerberg in Cyberpunk? Unbanned. We got 2 minutes to decide. I am meanwhile going to look at butterfly fairy lights, which look kind of cute, and they have colors on them. It looks like you can maybe change the colors. You can choose the colors. I'd get them if I could get purple. I mean, blue would work. I don't need to have every light exactly the same. So we had someone who came in and said some stuff that was caught by the mods and they got banned. That was somewhat transphobic. But they're saying English is not their first language, and they believe it was a miscommunication. The offense was unintentional. And I am willing to give benefit of the doubt. Have to go. Have a good day. And all people in chat, peace and love. Thank you, Laluvia. Thank you so kindly. Have a good one. Hear about an Australian MP? Yes, I did. NBSP. I was actually going to bring that story up as our next thing. We're on a big transphobe thing tonight, or like a... This is the opposite of transphobe, honestly. Benefit of the doubt or blood sports. The way is fine. This is the opposite of, well, kind of the opposite of transphobes. This is a story about a trans-supportive father, which we love to see it. We'll wait till the poll has been decided, my friends. People complain about Star Citizen taking ages, but at least they seem to be taking the right amount of time for a project of its size. True. Fair. And a lot of people make jokes at Star Citizen's expense, of course, because of the sheer fact of the matter being that a lot of people have spent a ton of money on it and the game's technically not finished. Like, time to put their money where their mouth is and come clean. Alright, okay, so. How do I do this? How do I... Oh my god, I can't type. I'm not going to add friend. I'm going to unban. How do I unban? There we go. CDPR's investors pushed for pre-orders to be released far too soon. They absolutely did. They absolutely did. Someone who was a transphobe can change their mind and it is progress. Anywho. True. Favorite combo. Favorite color combo is blue, black, and purple. It is a nice aesthetic. Have to get up early. Radio Fox, have a good sleep. Get some rest, friend. Technically, I should probably get up early so that I can go to the gym at a reasonable hour and then get everything done. I've got to go to the doctor's tomorrow at some point. But for right now, I'm alcoholic. Still like the idea that Star Citizen is a historical game, but they just started development early. Alright. MP and father of 2 trans children tears into opposition lawmakers for cruelly mocking trans rights. An Australian MP and father of 2 transgender children, Andy Medic, has ripped apart opposition lawmakers who cruelly mocked trans issues during a private conversation. This is an Australian story, if I am not mistaken. Medic, who is an Animal Justice Party MP for the Victorian Legislative Council, has accused opposition leader and Liberal Party MP Michael O'Brien and some of his colleagues of making light of trans issues during a private conversation. Excuse me. The Brisbane Times reported Medic told Parliament on Thursday, 18th of March, that O'Brien and colleagues, including former leader Matthew Guy and party frontbencher Tim Smith, made jokes during a lunchtime meetup about how there was a label for everyone. Conversations between them. Please edit your news articles, folks. A conversation between them was overheard mocking my member statement on Transgender Day of Visibility, where I had a transgender pride flag in the Parliament, Medic said. The opposition leader himself made comments joking about the word trans. They described members of our party as poor dears. He was cut off by Craig Ondarchi, a Liberal MP, and who Medic also said was part of the conversation, who denied any conversation happened. Of course he did. Why would they admit to that? However, Labour MP Harriet Shing, who is gay, spoke up in support of Medic. She said education was required for MPs to better understand hurtful rhetoric that might amount to hate speech. A spokesperson for O'Brien told the Brisbane Times that Andy Medic had lied and chosen the cover of Parliamentary Privilege to make these ridiculous claims. They added, we'd like him to make the same allegations outside of Parliament. Under Parliamentary Privilege, Australian MPs cannot take action for defamation against another MP based on words spoken in Parliament, but the protection doesn't apply if an MP repeats those words outside parliamentary proceedings. Guy and Smith told Brisbane Times that Medic had lied. Smith added that if Medic had something to say, he should allege it under the law of the land, not the cowardice of parliamentary privilege. Medic said he saw other MPs, including Brad Rousewell, David Morris, and Matthew Bark at the lunchtime meeting, alongside O'Brien, Smith, Guy, and Ondarchi. Andy Medic has been contacted for comment. There we have it. Bernard, I'll give you a mod. You seem good enough for mod powers. Absolutely. We need more mods. We always need more mods. So yeah, there we go. And honestly, I see no reason for this dude to lie about this. Now, the parliamentary privilege thing could be an argument that is, it's worth considering, you know. If he's only said it under parliamentary privilege, NBSP, yeah, sure. We'll get more mods in here. Can we get some mods in chat? Yes, we can. We can absolutely get some mods in chat. What are our thoughts on this? It definitely seems like a deflection on their part. I would not at all be surprised if conservative politicians, liberal politicians, how many of you want to be modded? There we go. You love my streams even if you fall asleep a lot. I mean, I suppose it's good to be the kind of content creator people can fall asleep to. I've heard that on numerous occasions. You know. We're all mods down here. Mod everyone. Give everyone mod. But yeah, it entirely does not surprise me that rather than addressing the elephant in the room, rather than addressing the actual transphobia that would absolutely happen among Liberal MPs. Again, the Liberal Party is the Conservative party in Australia. And I would not at all be shocked to hear them say shit like, there's a label for everyone. That's a pretty base level transphobic joke, honestly. It's not even that deep into transphobe territory. And for Medic to make that assumption, to make that accusation under parliamentary privilege, I don't think he's in the wrong. I don't think he's made a false statement here. But, you know, we don't know the finer details. Anywho. I do not do song requests. No, I do not. I've never done that, actually, because, as we've seen with the DMCA thing in recent times, you know, it leads to bad things. And I really want to avoid anything that's going to get me banned on the platform yet again. ASMR makes you feel sick. Lucky for you folks, I have a blue snowball.
The
It's
Rogue
not
Room
exactly a
appreciates your
ASMR
recommendation.
mic. An auditory conversation that was overheard. There's no way he'd be able to prove it happened during defamation proceedings. Exactly. That's what they're deflecting to. Hello, DJ Mule. Thank you for the host. How are you doing? How's it going? But yeah, that is a very fair point, Demacia. Like, if he makes this allegation without having any evidence of it ever having happened, then of course he's liable to be the one seen legally in the wrong here. If he can't prove any of it, and he's making this accusation, then of course it's going to look particularly bad in a courtroom. There you go, baby bagel. Enjoy. I know Blue Starly is Twitch safe, but I prefer to have this lo-fi stuff in the background so it's not too much effort to listen to it. You know, I find if I listen to something that's too... Like, you did play one of their songs when you were over the other week. And it's like, I feel like if the music is too heavy and too intense while I'm trying to stream, I can't concentrate. I find that true of many things, actually. The only time I listen to, like, heavier music, which is usually, like, more pulse-pounding synthwave electronic kind of stuff, is when I'm in the gym and I'm focusing specifically on working out. So it's a bit of a different situation there. But if I need to use my words and my brain, which, you know, it's probably not a good idea to try to use my brain and my words when I'm drinking, the alcohol is probably not helping with any situation. It's all you could ever have wished for. I'm glad to help. Anywho, there's that story. And I mean, it's good to see a member of parliament and father of 2 young trans kids defending his children. Because yeah, he flew a flag. Where was it? He flew a trans flag in Parliament, if I am not mistaken. It was in here somewhere. Oh yeah, conversation between them was overheard mocking my member statement on Transgender Day of Visibility, where I had a transgender pride flag in the Parliament. See, again, like, I would not be surprised at all if this was the response to it. If this was the response to him announcing his support for Transgender Day of Visibility, bringing a trans flag into the Parliament. Yeah, just entirely would not shock me at all to hear that, you know, if this is a real situation that actually did happen. I don't know why anyone would doubt that, quite frankly. But I don't really have a whole lot to add to that whole story. It's just an interesting thing to bring up. Hasodizigdig. Yes. Beyonce found that out. Hang on. ASMR makes you nauseous too. And now he whispers, have you seen my son? His name is Nemo. Oh, gross. You gonna log off, Amateur? Have a good one. Have a lovely time. Get some good rest. Get some sleep. Reading that out loud made you choke on your ramen. Think of spending $80 on a hoodie after you buy a $40 vinyl. I bought this whole outfit today for $44 at Kmart. And then this afternoon, because I was feeling particularly self-negative, I was really not in the mood for anyone's shit, and I was really in a bad state. I bought this. It's a cute, flowy, Nordic-looking robe with Nordic runes in the middle. Like, it's cute as fuck. And I buyed this. So expect me to be wearing that in 4 to 6 business weeks. It says ships in about 4 weeks. I don't know when I'm gonna receive it. I went with the black, sorry. I should have gone the purple, honestly. There's a purple, which would suit me fine. There's also the burgundy wine, deadly nightshade, and navy blue. But I went with the black because I want to wear it with some gothy sort of stuff. I want to wear some goth makeup with my flowy robe. Like, it looks so gorgeous, dude. Like, look at this. Look at how good that looks. Look at how awesome that looks. Is it satanic? No, it's Nordic. But I mean, I have a dress covered in pentagrams, so I need more gothic, satanic sort of stuff. Bought 2 bathing suits and 3 pairs of leggings with pockets. Enough pockets. So I heard about the American thing of gender abolition, as it sounds like one of those ideas that works on paper, but really not all the world is America. True. Also, I just noticed this shit that these websites do. You can't see it underneath my my little face cam right here. You can see this. Someone from Giovino, Italy recently purchased this other dress. These websites do this to coerce you to buy more of their clothes. They're like, oh, look, someone recently bought this. Like, yeah, I know what you're doing, you dumb fucks. Don't think I'm stupid. I know what you're doing. You got me with the robe. Now stop it. Alright? Now stop it. I'm advertising for you on Twitch without even being paid a sponsorship. I'm still waiting to hear back from I'm still waiting to hear back from Gymshark, because they put out a little notice. We're looking for small streamers on Twitch, but they put it out. They put out this notice during the week when I was suspended. So I responded and I'm like, well, I have to stream on YouTube nowadays. But then I got unsuspended. I'm just like, hey, Gymshark, you want to collab with a trans streamer who works out a lot? Let's work something out. Let's do something, hey? It's a good idea, believe me. But, Sabercat, do you have a link to the gender abolition thing? I'd like to, like, I know the idea of gender abolition sounds cool as a snappy little term. Let's abolish gender, but quite frankly, like, I'm just gonna go off on a bit of a little tangent here. I don't think we need to abolish, have I done all the requests? I did the only request that I had, and now Hardly Nodding is back in chat, so, you know, that's the only one. Can you clear them all? Are there any more in there? Hang on, we'll come back to this in just a second, sorry. I did have a point I wanted to make about gender abolition. When I look at unbanned requests, it says there's 2, but there's none there. So, like, I don't know. Hello, SpongeBob. Welcome to the Rogue Room, by the way. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? As I was going to say, like, I don't think we need to get rid of traditional gender roles, right? Could be a glitch. I don't think there's any reason for us to get rid of traditional gender roles by any stretch of the imagination. I think the gender roles we have are just fine. We don't need to... I mean, if you want to be gender non-conforming, or if you want to be specifically binary male or binary female or some androgynous in-betweener or completely outside of the norm, go ahead. Jacinta, I will smack you very lightly on the bottom if you say that again. But, like, I think gender roles are fine. If you are a woman who wants to be a trad wife, like classically Abby Shapiro, or you're a man who wants to abide by traditional gender roles there, or if you want to be a man or a woman who shirks all those gender roles, Gay Fury there, the fuck you go, mate. If you want to abide or shirk gender roles in this day and age, go ahead. I don't really care about that specifically. I don't believe in the idea of let's completely deconstruct gender, as much as I'll meme about let's just throw gender away. Thank you for the posture check. However, what I do think is there are... The mic is not muted. I can see my audio Leviathan. As much as I think all of those gender roles are fine, and people making up their own gender roles are fine. It's a social construct. It's still real in society. Wanting to abolish gender at the moment is counterproductive, because in order to tackle gender issues, we need to acknowledge it as a construct, which a lot of people really just think gender is biological sex, and then they write that off, and then they go about their business, right? In my personal opinion, I think there are a number of little things about society that are specifically gendered that we need to do away with. And the joke you've made, Unicorn. Gender is a scam made up by bathroom companies to sell more bathrooms. Ha ha, I'm actually considering that's a real thing. And the gendered bathrooms thing, quite frankly, is one of the things we need to do away with now. We have no reason to have gendered bathrooms other than to enforce an arbitrary restriction based on your genitalia, right? That's the assumption there, is it? Like, and also women's bathrooms in certain places. I mean, here in Australia, generally speaking, we have women's bathrooms, men's bathrooms, disabled bathrooms, which are usually separate in, like, say, a shopping center, and then there's a parents' room. I've heard, like, say in America, they don't have parents' rooms. Instead, in public spaces, what they've got is, the women's restrooms will have all the parenting facilities, so like changing tables and all of that. But we should absolutely look at the idea of getting rid of stuff like gendered bathrooms. So instead of having a men's room that has a number of stalls and a urinal, we should just have individual rooms. Like, we should have an individual toilet, like the disabled toilets often are. They are a toilet, they are a sink, they are a hand dryer or whatever. Like, they should just have a number of those individual ones, and then a parent's room that's its own individual thing. And then there's a bunch of other little individual things about society. There's little nitpicky things. I think the bathroom thing is a nitpicky thing. You know, it's really not that big of an issue. We should just do it already. Just do away with gendered bathrooms. Do universal unisex bathrooms. Some train stations do have unisex bathrooms, yeah. And I get that, you know, they'd have to restructure a lot of things. They'd have to do some construction on bathrooms, which is going to be difficult because people always need to piss and shit at the end of the day. Doing an overhaul of public bathrooms is going to take some time. Working out the logistics of it and all of that kind of thing. But, you know, you've got that, and then you've got, obviously, one of the more difficult ones is hiring practices. Sorry. And Sabercat, I'll open this and we'll come back to it in a moment. Abolishing gender. I can download the full text PDF. We might as well do that. Oh, I gotta sign. Oh, no, I don't. I don't have to sign in. That's cool. Okay. Well, Brian D. Earp, I can read your entire dissertation. Sweet. Anyway. Abolish plumbing. Do away with the puritanical nonsense that's been plaguing us forever. Absolutely. Hazelnut, I'm glad you like the headband. This is my second one like this. The other one's like a dark green. I love this one. It's so cute. Abolish abolition. Hello, Relegator. How you doing? This has been a full-on trans stream, by the way. This has been full-blown gender discussion, and I'm living for it. So what else? So we got the bathrooms thing again, which is irrelevant. Like, you know, the idea of having gendered bathrooms is ultimately, at the end of the day, completely irrelevant and arbitrary and based on categorization. You have a penis, you go in this one. You have a vagina, you go in that one. Right? It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. It do be matching the gloves, though, and kind of the shirt, but it's like a slightly different shade. Anyway. For you read this, yeah, this is exactly what gender abolition is about. It's like, we don't want to get rid of your gender. We don't want to trans everyone. You can still be cis. You can still be normal. But we want to do away with the things in society that force us into this path or that path. I mean, abortion is very important too. Anyway. And hello, Solace. How you doing? I hope you're having a good one. Tumblr was a hard time for genders. Trans is your gender, uwu. Excuse me. But like, we got the bathrooms thing. What about clothes? Clothes is another one. What is this shit? Why am I getting... I got a text message from that company saying congratulations on your first order. If that is not the most capitalism shit I've ever seen. I got a text message from a website congratulating me for spending money at their website. Keep in mind, I'm not going to see this product for at least 4 weeks. It says shipping in 4 weeks. I'm going to forget I ordered this robe and it's going to show up at my door in like 3 months. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anywho. I'll come back to... Yeah, obvious troll is obvious. Anyway, we'll come back to your comment though. Don't delete that one, whoever it is. Don't delete Relegator's latest comment. The previous one, yeah, whatever. Don't delete this one. Oh, okay, you've done it anyway, Rena. Whatever. We'll come back to it. Did a timeout. There is a point that I want to make, though, on that subject. Yeah, what's stopping you from doing that in the boys' bathrooms? Clothing. Let's come to clothing. Jewelry. Right? We specifically gender a lot of our clothes. Like, we have... You go into any clothing shop, they have a men's section and a women's section, or they have a women's clothing store and a men's clothing store. All the clothes are specifically gendered towards one type of person or another type of person. One body type, another body type. One gender or another gender. Why do we not have, for example, and this is not a huge thing, right? But what if I went into Kmart one day and instead of having the women's section and the men's section, what if I went to the t-shirt section? What if I just went to the shirts section? And in the shirts section was just a smattering of all masculine and feminine styles of tops. What if there was a dresses section? What if there was a pants and skirts and all that section? What if they were still organized by like aisles and things like that? But why do I need to look for a big sign plastered on the wall in neon lighting that says men or women? Children, I get, obviously. You can't put the kids' clothes in with the adult clothes. It's like, why do we need to specifically segment these things other than to reinforce gender roles that are specifically categorizing people and normalizing them, and thus explicitly ostracizing and othering trans and non-binary people who exist, who have existed forever, will continue to exist, even if, for example, in the UK, they are absolutely trying to commit genocide on trans people. They unironically are. Solace knows all about this. I mean, with regards to the concept of genocide. Again, watch their video. What was it? Now I can't remember the second. Now I can't remember the first word. Something and purity. Solace, you know the name of your own video. I've forgotten what it is. Feel free to link it if you're still hanging out in chat. What is wrong with thanking you? I mean, thanking you for your purchase and reinforcing the good feeling it resulted. True, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm just not expecting to see it before 2 months have passed. That one was not necessary to time out. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. I'll untime you out. That was unnecessary. I'll say that much. Mate is fine. Because I'm Australian, we all call each other mate. Okay, so I want to come back to this comment that Relegator made, which I wanted to address. What if... First they asked, would you really want a dirty old man going to the bathroom with your 5-year-old daughter? And what if I was a pedophile and wanted to see little girls go to the bathroom? What stops me from pretending to be trans? What stops you from doing that now? Most pedophiles are aware of the fact that they are socially unacceptable and don't do that. And furthermore, most rape and sexual assault happens within social circles. So that sort of stuff is happening. If there is a pedophile that is like molesting children, it's typically a relative of the child or a friend of the child's family, or for example, a Christian pastor or something like that has access to the children in the first place. It's not just some random bloke walking into the women's toilets and molesting little girls. That's not what's happening. In fact, you would probably be hard-pressed to even find a case of that happening in the first place. It's like the vast, and I mean more than 90%, I think. Is it more than 90%? From reign of sexual abuse cases reported to law enforcement, 93% of juvenile victims. There we go, I got it. Thank you, Halcyon. Knew the perpetrator, 59% were acquaintances, 34% were family members, 7% were strangers to the victim. It's such a minority of offenses that are a stranger. Like, we go on about stranger danger, and yes, you absolutely should go on about stranger danger. Keep your kids aware of the fact that there are strange people out there who will hurt them, but the vast majority of the time, if a kid is affected by an adult in some kind of abusive way, they know that adult in the first place. I think people who raise the what if trans cause X harm if we allow X should be made aware that cis people make crimes all the time. People are being raped everywhere, murdered, assaulted, but we don't restrict the rights of cis people. In fact, we encourage it, e.g. rape culture, which is entirely relevant to the march I went to a week ago, just under a week ago on Monday. Lara and I went to the Women's March for Justice, which really, the naming annoys the fuck out of me. We went to the Women's March for the number Justice on March 15th, which was in response to some systemic rape culture that has been happening in Parliament for a long time. Plague Dr. Bask, yes, absolutely, all the time. And that's what's reported. Imagine the ashamed family members who never report, which is something you hear about all the fucking time. A friend of mine recently came out, and I suppose we can use the phrase come out here, in a big twitlonger, detailing their own sexual assault at the hands of an uncle spoke out. Is probably a better word. Spoke out is a better word. Better phrase. They spoke out about their own sexual assault at the hands of an older male family member, and the family was so ashamed at it that they just continued to live things like normal. She told her family and friends. She made them aware of what happened, but because he's a family member, because he's like an uncle or grandfather or whatever, just like, let's just move on with it, try to move past it, try to forget that it happened. Having big family events like weddings and all this sort of shit. Like she specifically said, this guy is not coming to my wedding, end of story. And he passed away. The guy passed away, and she was like, and honestly, unironically, 100% of the time here, if you have an abuser like that and they die, fucking drink to it. I urge you, unless you're a strict straight edge non-alcoholic, but celebrate that shit. Give yourself the best night of your life. Absolutely get your best friends together and have a fucking party to celebrate the death of your abuser. Go ahead with it. I endorse it. I never understand why rape culture comes up when talking about trans people. That stigma is so fucked. So like talking about gay people being relevant to pedos, they're now doing the trans people are pedos thing too. Which is exactly what that person set up in chat earlier. Too gay to be straight edge. Just finished stream, didn't know you were on. You knew you were on, you would have rated. Well, I appreciate that so much, Crazy Mega. How have you been? How's things? Your abuser is younger than you, but you'll outlive her. That's a plus too. That's a positive. The fursuit of... the fursuit of happiness. That took me a second. I'm like... That's good. That's fucking good shit. Glad I got my channel back. I'm glad I got my channel back too. Good shit. You would expect someone with the name Coochie Man knows what a fursuit is. God damn it, Bernard. I read that for a second, Draco. First time I read that, I was like, CGI Bernard. Like, what? Oh, insert family member is a sick fuck. Well, they're coming to the next 30 holidays until the day they die, so I hope that's not weird for you. Yeah, it's really bizarre, especially in the case of women, of course. You will see this routinely with regards to the allegation of rape or sexual assault. When the woman is putting forth the allegation, all of a sudden, there are so many people who are saying, well, we need to abide by the legal system. We need to take every single side of the story into account, and like, they just get so ardently focused on the legal side of things, rather than considering that somebody is coming to you with, why is rape being censored considered an auto-moddable word after I turned auto-mod off in the first place? Anyway, every single time we see something like Brittany Higgins coming forward, or the unnamed woman who was absolutely raped by Christian Porter, let's be honest with ourselves. That whole situation is a fucking mess. All of a sudden, we are focusing on the legal system. All of a sudden, we need to make sure that we follow the legal system to the letter. Never mind the fact that there are so many cases of, so many, like, allegations of this and that and the other, where someone goes to prison and they never committed the crime in the first place. Like, the legal system as it stands is not exactly 100% efficient. Like, it doesn't work properly. So to just assume that a bunch of guys in suits can make a logical decision based on some woman's testimony, and the bloke in the situation walks free, the defendant walks free after knowing he actually committed a rape. It's just a way to deflect and protect abusers and rapists and all of this. It's fucking shit. Something like 1 in every 250 rapists actually see a day of prison time. Yeah, it's fucked up. The force upheld 119 cases. So hang on, trigger warning rape. You're more likely to be raped by a police officer in the UK than a trans person. Why am I not shocked? The force upheld 119 cases among 600 complainants. They included an officer who was sacked after having sex with a rape victim. Hang on. What did you say, Relegate? I forget what you said. I forgot. Oh, you talked about the pedophile thing. But don't equate trans people with pedophiles, first of all. Don't equate queer people with pedophiles. There's no relation there. And again, we're on the subject now. So take that as a lesson learned. You missed the CGI Biden thing. That should be up on my YouTube channel. Let me have a look. I don't know if I made that into a YouTube video. I was going to make it into a YouTube video. What is a fursuit? For God's sake. People assuming you know what it is. That's on them. This is a fursuit, right? Basically, I should have actually vetoed this entire page before I clicked on this, because looking up fursuits, just to give you an idea, I've seen a lot of people who wear fursuits. Like, just look at this pose. I shouldn't have Googled this. It could have gotten really bad, honestly. A lot of furries are very... Yeah, it's a dangerous Google search. Very, very dangerous. Anyway, let me just check my VOD channel, Rogue Offline. Safe search on, good idea. Yeah, look at the thumbnails my VOD channel gives me. Because I just upload the VOD and then I go about my day. I don't actually, like, check them for anything. They're just straight VODs. I don't moderate my comments on my VODs channel. Like, this person says, hey, I am your first viewer, and they're wrong. It's like Martin here has got more comments going back 5 months. Like, if you, why is this? Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? Hold the fucking phone. Are you serious? Average view. People are actually watching the whole VODs? Or most of them? Like, yeah, like, look at that. Average view duration, 1 hour, 55 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, what? People are actually watching the whole VODs on my VOD channel. It's probably only like 1 or 2 of you, but fuck, dude. Like, who's doing this? Okay, I'll take it. That's a compliment, honestly. If I can hold your attention for that long in a non-interactive format, because you're just watching content that I've already put out there, and I like to interact with chat. Shouldn't have Googled this and other quotes from your teen years, from your trans teen years. I'm so used to saying the phrase trans teens now that it's just logically a part of my vocabulary. So if Harry is a human in a fursuit, yes. Yeah. Thinking that pose is dirty is on you. I'll take it. Wanted to make the argument for women who aren't comfortable sharing a bathroom with a man. If I go into a women's restroom, do you know who they're sharing a bathroom with? A woman. In the women's room. And again, I'm entirely for the idea of just degendering bathrooms to begin with. Would you not mind going into your... There's no such thing as a biological bathroom. There is no such thing as a biological bathroom. It's like someone the other day said to me biological pronouns, and I'm like, the fuck is a biological pronoun? We literally made pronouns up. Are you kidding me? We just completely conjugated them out of midair. Out of fat air. We did... Yeah, and this harkens back, friends, to this tweet I posted. Where would you post a screenshot of me? Posted it in Assorted Media in my Discord, if you're in my Discord. Let me come back to this tweet. Well, we say thin air all the time. We gotta give some fat representation in here. I posted this, right? Ladies, have you ever walked into a public restroom and seen a woman standing to pee? Not sure what this is in response to a Facebook post I made, which was literally just a tweet that I screenshotted and posted on my Facebook page. And this person from a streamer group went to my personal Facebook page to specifically respond to that post, which was already like a week or more old. So what they did, this person from this streamer group, is they clicked on my profile, scrolled through my personal Facebook profile, found this post, and left a fucking essay. This is just one paragraph of like 3,000 words in a comment denying trans people their existence, essentially. Anyway, they said, not sure what gendered spaces are verbatim unless you mean bathrooms and the like. If you go through all the surgeries to have as accurate if blah, 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 blah. If I was female and walked into a bathroom and a woman was pissing standing up, I'd be concerned, as would any woman. Has this person ever been in a women's restroom? There are no urinals. that the discussion stops there. There's no urinals. They're all cubicles. They're all stalls. They have doors. They close. And if a woman happens to be standing to take a piss in the stall, why are you looking through the crack in the door to observe her doing her business? That's super fucking weird, man. Last time you saw someone pissing standing up in a women's bathroom, you were a 6-year-old and you were in primary school. I would hate being a man having to use urinals, honestly, as someone who's had the experience of having to use a urinal, and I would always, in every single circumstance, just give me a stall. What is wrong with a standard toilet? Why do we need a trough? Who invented the urinal trough? They can go in the bin. Standard toilets are fine. The real people we need to kick out of public restrooms are the ones who put paper towels in the toilet. Oh, God. You had a multi-orgasmic girlfriend who could stand up peeing as she hated the queues for women's toilets. Legend. We are all equal. What about sport then? What about sport? Who fucking cares about sport? Do you realize that sports are intrinsically designed to be unfair? Again, I'm doing a video essay on this very soon. Sports are designed to be unfair. They have been since the dawn of fucking time. That's a non-argument. Sports are always going to focus on the most elite athlete of the elite athletes to be the leading champion in all this kind of circumstance. Sports are not designed to be fair in the first place. And there are numerous instances of trans women competing in sport and being fucking losers. But you never want to bring that up, do you? They never want to bring up the fact that there are a number of trans women in sports who fucking suck at it. Who never win. Ever. What about trans men? Do we talk about trans men who dominate in their chosen sports? You would think they would have some kind of inherited disadvantage being born assigned female at birth, right? But there are statistics to show trans men competing in sports with other men, not with women, right? And those trans men winning. Why would a trans man win at sports against other men if they're supposed to be weaker because they were assigned female at birth? Weird that. But that's never a part of the discussion, is it? Statistically speaking, very few to no people care about women. Trans men don't win. I literally have sources for my upcoming video that state the contrary. And Wreck-It Raven, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing, friend? And yeah, statistically speaking, very few people to no people care about women's sport anyway, which is why it is such a hilarious thing that people like Donald the fuck Trump, who has a Wikipedia page dedicated to his sexual assault history on women, is now using trans athletes in women's sports as a political talking point. That's all it ever has been, and that's all it ever will be, is a way to make a marginalized minority group a villain. What do you think do you think the conservatives actually care about women's rights? It's always conservatives who are arguing against the trans athletes thing, right? Always, without fail, conservatives. Conservatives who have routinely demonstrated that they don't like women having a lot of rights in the first place. Yeah, who's taking away the woman's chance to compete? Also, hang on a sec. Remember Selena Soul? This chick from the where's a good picture? From the PragerU video? Remember this chick who made the video about, oh, they're with trans athletes and we lost to them. They're with trans athletes and we lost to them in running. The two trans athletes she competed against regularly and lost to were black. I wonder if there's a coincidence there. Can you tell me why there's gender segregation in the professional gaming industry? Yeah. Anywho. Do we want to keep doing this? Because I've spent the last month fucking researching it. For the sake of a video. What about the Williams sisters? Serena Williams alone is on another level. Again, if we talk about the fairness in sports. We're doing race realism now. The reason that I brought the race into things is because race actually does play a quite relevant point in the entire overall structure of the video. Specifically with regards to, yeah, you know. Well, yeah, race realism, that would be it, wouldn't it? That's what I'm thinking of, isn't it? Do you remember, I was gonna say Bud Dwyer. No, that's the guy who shot himself on live television. That's not who it is at all. His fucking name. Jimmy the Greek Snyder, who made a bunch of comments on, like, black athletes in basketball, I think. Made a bunch of comments about, like, way back in the slavery days. Slave drivers used to breed blacks. I'm using his words. They would breed their best stock, sort of thing. And over time, like, his argument became that, oh, they're so good at sports because they've been bred that way, not realizing how fucking racist that is. Thanks to POS Tulsi Gabbard, who knew she was going to be benched in Hawaii as she has been terrible as a candidate. Gender lawn balls. Oh. Crispy, welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? Says the dude who thinks trans people are taking... Yeah, like, what? Women's rights? I literally went to a rally for women's rights. How am I taking away women's rights by being a woman? Notice, by the way, I just want to bring this up. I hang out in a lot of cis women streams. And I've never seen these comments ever come up in a cis woman stream. Maybe in a leftist, like occasionally Bad Bunny, when I hang out in her streams, she'll get these kind of comments. But I'll never see these kind of discussions brought up when I go and hang out in Midnight Emmy stream. Or Loot Demon stream. I'm just doing shout outs now. Mrs. L stream. Mrs. Lalante. Llante, if you want to go follow Mrs. Lalante. For no reason at all, I'm going to shout out everyone here. I'm going to just shout out Bad Bunny for the hell of it. Luke Demon. Who else did I mention? I've hung out in a bunch of cis women streams and I've never heard these viewpoints about transgender people brought up. I've never heard these comments brought up in cis men's streams. Only when I've hung out in trans or non-binary streams have these comments come to light. I wonder why that is. If you comment against trans women in sport, you're pretty much done, so yes, people don't openly speak against it. Well, because they don't have any actual valid viewpoints. Speaking of shoutouts, oh yes, and everyone, I'm going to, hang on. Well, I don't know if you actually do anything on Twitch, Solus, so I'm going to open your account. Do you have a link? What you should do, Solus, I'm going to recommend you do this. Go into your Twitch account settings and attach your YouTube to your Twitch channel. So I can then like just, so people can click on your, people can click on your Twitch channel and, no, I don't want to do that. Here we go. I'm going to shout out JS Solus. Fantastic YouTuber. Who did this video, Purity and Atrocity, which is what the one I watched recently. Fan-fucking-tastic. Go watch it. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Looking forward to seeing the fruits of my research. Keep in mind, it's very heavily opinionated and slanted from the view of a trans woman who's sick of this shit. I try to keep it as on the level as possible. Since when are gender stereotypes valid points here when we're having discussions about, like, why gender bad? How are we hanging? Your title reminded you of this tweet which gets under your skin. Oh, hang on. What have you brought me, Evelyn? I've been missing chat because I've been trying to shout out Solace. I'm trying to understand why. What are the facts? Follow the facts. Again, I've done the research. My research is facts. Men are stronger than women, but I say this unironically as somebody who literally lifts 6 days a week and has done significant research on the physiology of human musculature. I have lost more than 50% of my strength since starting hormone replacement therapy. More than 50%. I can't bench anymore, dude. I can barely deadlift the bar some days. Well, that's an exaggeration. Like I can't deadlift like I used to be able to hit 120 kilo deadlifts, and now I'm like 70 for 2 reps. Woman, are you insane? Like I've lost strength because of testosterone blockers and estrogen, and I'm gonna get on progesterone as of my next endocrinologist appointment, which should be like within a month or 2. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Do we need to go into the biomechanics of HRT and muscle mass and shit? So tiring explaining. Yeah, these people always, by the way, Meow, I love your name. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Tiring explaining biology to people who constantly fall back on, it's basic biology. Wow. Now let's talk about the fact that a cis man who works out regularly with no steroids can barely deadlift 100 kilos. I mean, look, deadlifts are hard, okay? Probably a bad example. Deadlifts fucking suck. But I will say this. Pulling off a record deadlift is a power like none other. I tell you right now, if you can deadlift and break a record deadlift, oh my god, the feeling of just monstrous strength you experience is unfathomable. I can't put into words how good it feels to lift a deadlift that is a record, like a personal record. Bench, squat, a little bit closer. Deadlift. I should actually genuinely get back into doing deadlift. My deadlift belt just like sits in the boot of my car nowadays. I barely use it. I should like this coming week. I'm gonna do some deadlifts again. I haven't done them in a while. Yeah, to compete in sport as a trans woman on a professional level, at the very least, you need to be on hormones. Motherfuckers out here reading a biology book from the 80s in the 4th grade and think they know about gender. Yeah. Guess all female perpetrated domestic violence is fake news then, because women can't fight fairly against a big, strong man. Main big 3 lifts: squat, shoulder press, and deadlifts. Do your whole body. Wait, shoulder press? No, it's squat, bench, and deadlift. Or are you just, like, trying to take bench out of the equation? Because, like, although I suppose, like, the Arnold press... If it was the clean and jerk, you know, as far as I know, it's actually the 4 big lifts. It's squat, clean and jerk, bench, and deadlift. But I've never done clean and jerk in my life. I've never done it. This conversation feels like it has the same vibe of women want equal rights, that means equal lefts. Yes, that's absolutely what it is. Deadlifts are so important. I should keep doing them. I've been really lazy. Fucking deadlifts. Yes, Google is your friend. That's literally what I used. Aren't we supposed to jerk and clean? God damn it. What was I looking at? Oh, yeah. What was this tweet? Who sent me this tweet? Title reminded me of this tweet, which still gets under your skin. Evelyn. Nuclear take, the sexual objectification of trans women in media like cyberpunk is an unfortunate but necessary step in the process of cultural acceptance. Black people went through the same thing with blaxploitation films. It sucks, but it's ultimately a sign of progress. Nuclear counter-argument, fuck off. Being seen as a viable sexual candidate is a big part of being accepted in society, and until blaxploitation happened, black women were not given that dignity. I want to say I can see his point, but it's like, you could just keep that shit the fuck to yourself, dude. You're not helping the situation, and that's not helping acceptance. In any way, shape, or form, right? It's like, he does have some valid points with regards to this, but it's like, at the same time, we should not be encouraging exploitation. Exploitative, punching bags, what do I need? Oh, this fucker. All this sounds eerily familiar to the opposition of black athletes, which, again, is a point I've been making the whole time. You know heaps about blaxploitation films. Promises not how it went down. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, the sexual objectification of trans women in the media like cyberpunk is an unfortunate but necessary step in the process of cultural acceptance. Is he gonna, like, why would you reference cyberpunk in this particular scenario? I suppose, given it was October 2020, cyberpunk was relevant, but trans people have been in media exploited for just as long as black people have been in media. Like, what's the point he's making? There's been a routine history of media exploitation of transgender people and the representations thereof. Again, I'm going to bring up, well, I haven't brought this up yet, actually. I would ask that you go and, where's Lindsay Ellis's channel? If you want to put yourself through pain, go and watch Tracing the Roots of Pop Culture Transphobia, and not just because Lindsay Ellis is beautiful. Okay, I think I remember most of what she said, but I was too distracted by that fucking lip color and her eyelashes. But anyway, just watch this video. We want to talk about pop culture transphobia and how that hasn't really helped with the representation and normalization. I've had spumante, alright? Hasn't helped with the normalization of trans people at all. We are still extremely marginalized, and in much the same way, black people are still extremely marginalized, despite blaxploitation films and despite, you know, other representations of black people in the media. You had a crush on Lindsay as a teen, now she's more like a cool aunt. Sort of right, one of the first gay superstars was gay/bi actor Jack Wrangler. This is what I mean, is like, I can see the point he's trying to make, but he's still kind of missing the mark quite a bit with this. Just because a shitty take is nuclear doesn't mean it's somehow speaking some uncomfortable truth. Most of the time it's just a shitty take. That's Mia Mulder's tweet in response. I feel like you're describing the path for black people and just imagining that there is no other alternative. This is a very good point here. Like, putting people through trauma for the sake of normalization is not a good thing. While it could be a step in the right direction, i.e. open fetishization leading to normalization, that doesn't mean it's the only path possible, nor should it be accepted. BLM and trans rights are intrinsically linked, you're absolutely right, because a lot of... Oh, Residual Chaos, thank you for the follow. 3 minutes ago, sorry I missed you. Because, like, if we even look beyond, like, the... Hazelnut, there you go. We look beyond Western civilization norms. You know, the Western norm of gender binary, the man, the woman. There are numerous other cultures throughout the history of the world that have had more than two genders, right? Numerous different cultures have had non-binary people, a third gender, multiple genders, and the binary gender system is intrinsically a white British concept. So there's even, you know, that underlying racism of the binary of genders to begin with. So to say that it's a systemic norm that the entire world should, not a systemic norm, sorry, to say it's some kind of a biological norm, like it's the default that we go to, is flagrantly wrong, and again, a racist remark to make in the first place. I am trying my best to keep it together, but that was very, very good spumante. Holy heck. Fuck me dead. The best way to normalize trans people in media is to show them as normal people. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Spumante. Spumante. Strawberry spumante. Objectifying trans people won't lead to broader acceptance. It will just lead to people acting in a more depraved way towards trans people, which, again, how many people... Again, again. Holy shit. Why do I say again when I haven't even made the point yet? What do people remember the most about the Silence of the Lambs? And this is a point that's brought up in Lindsay Ellis's video quite routinely. This is why I'm remembering it right now. You know what people remember about the Silence of the Lambs? The cross-dressing man, cross-dressing serial killer who's looking at himself in the mirror and going, "I'd fuck me hard." And people have this conception that that's what trans people are. I have not had any surgery. You know. And not that it's relevant to anything, though. Like, that's just basically asking what genitals I have, which is a really weird question, but we'll leave it. I haven't had any surgeries. I've had wisdom teeth removed, so technically I'm a post-op trans person, which is just me reiterating a tweet I made earlier. Rip headphone users, because that fuck me hard was a little frightening. Oh, fuck. Exploitation in film takes different forms like fetishization, objectifying, demeaning, etc. like white supremacy. The black exploitation is analogous to the trans exploitation in film, for example, but it's not a necessary step towards acceptance. Saying that is silly, it just makes you sound like you want to be complacent without advocating for real change, which is centrism. We come back around to centrism. Centrism inherently leans right? Like, if we say someone is centrist on the basic concept of human rights. 3 minutes ago, Hazelnut, I don't know if I flipped you off. You get a free one if I did already, but there you go. What was I saying? Yes, Sadhap, that's quite frankly, that last phrase that you've made there is, you know, being complacent without advocating real change is essentially centrism at its most basic concept. It's like, I like the way things are because they benefit me right now. Of course, that is quite frankly a conservative viewpoint, protecting and preserving the status quo of things, not wanting to see any significant change. But yeah, Puritan, like you've said, human rights, I could take it or leave it. Like, why can't this group of people just be happy with what they got? Or like Butterfield's extremely centristy seeming feminist stance of like, I agree with feminism, I'd protect the women in my family, I would protect the women in my life, blah blah blah. But some feminists go too far, they're too crazy, they want more rights. And it's like, that's that sort of a take where it's like, why can't you just be happy with what you've got and never argue for further change, for better, more radical change? Which inherently leans toward conservatism, which is not a good thing, because it stalls progress. Trans people are always treated like some special ice cream flavor, not like this is an individual equal to me who strives for love, acceptance, care, like me in this life, exactly. Speaking of treating trans people as normal, the only trans character you know of in Cyberpunk is treated like any other character. Well, yeah, there you go. Always loved the series Dispatches from Elsewhere for having a trans woman as the female romantic lead. That's awesome. Trans celebrities who are seen as attractive would help, yes. It's more like just the idea of having trans people in movies and shows and books and everything who are just normal people, and do away with this idea of the Ed Gein stereotype, which again was recently resurrected in J.K. Rowling's Troubled Blood, where she revives this idea of the cross-dressing serial killer who steals the skin of his victims or some bullshit like that. Anywho, don't understand eating fava beans with a Chianti. Understand human meat, but fava beans taste horrible. Oh god. New Year just learning. Hang on, what did I miss? What happened? Oh, for God's sake, Botwick, shut the fuck up. Stop deleting me. Oh my god. Did Isaac Butterfield do a Super Straight video? I did not see it, no. Dang it, but maybe I should just take that out of his, No, it's because you said fucking Super Straight. I was trying to shut down. Yeah, he did do a Super Straight video a week ago. Don't know if I want to watch it, honestly. But yeah, it's because Botwick has all variants of Super Straight listed as a censored word, so it just deletes your messages. But I'll go back to this message. I was about to read this, Evelyn, before it timed it out. To repeat yourself, if kids grow up finding a trans woman like Hunter Schafer attractive, that's useful, but her transness doesn't have to be objectified for that to happen. The point is they can find her attractive like any other person, rather than some kind of aberration. Yes, indeed. Trans people are like tardigrades. We take a lot of shit. This is true. Swerve and turf feminism that men subscribe to who want to bone the woman feminist in their lives is weak sauce and harmful. I wonder if that's the reason that Glinner went so heavy down the turf pipeline. Do you reckon like he do you reckon this is why his marriage fell apart? Do you reckon he specifically wanted to bone like more attractive feminist women? And he wasn't really super into his wife anymore, so he started aligning with their political views. Like, I'm gonna go hang out with the turfs a bit, so I can get some turf puss. And his wife found out that he was trying to invade women's spaces, ironically. Or do you think it was just his obsession with trans people that led her to leave him? That is a rather personal, probing question. Yes, it is. Yes, I actually mentioned Ed Gein before, Sabercat. Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs and Psycho's Norman Bates are based on real-world cishet guy Ed Gein. He only killed one person and was a pathetic, lonely man who was brainwashed by a religious ghoul of a mother. And the idea that came out about Ed Gein...
appreciates your recommendation.
Rhetoric, thank you for the host, mate. The idea of Ed Gein, like a lot of people think of Ed Gein as the Buffalo Bill and Norman Bates types, where they think he's some kind of a serial killing transvestite. But again, that was a fabrication that the media created to sell some kind of a story that would get into people's heads. Propaganda against whatever. And that itself developed into media adaptations of that concept. And that's why we've seen on so many occasions the representation of the serial killing man who dresses up as a woman to invade women's spaces, which is not really a thing that happens. In fact, if there are cases of serial killers who do that, they are more than likely influenced by that media that represents that idea. Copycat killers. Right? They also just want to side with people that share the same hatred as them. Like, usually these men would have bashed feminism for years, but all of a sudden they become feminists to side with transphobic hatred. Yes, indeed. I think it's only morning for you. Yeah, it's like 11:47 p.m. You go make popcorn for 3 minutes. There's a billion messages to couch up on. I hope it's good popcorn. Hope you enjoy it. So much more fascinated by the hyper-intelligent sociopath. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, Psycho movies. Yeah, exactly. When it comes to Silence of the Lambs, you end up thinking more often of Anthony Hopkins in his portrayal of Hannibal. That's fair. It's interesting to look at, and I want to kind of... I'm thinking of bringing this up to my uni group because we're doing an assignment as a 10-minute podcast thing, which is really interesting. Me and my group have to discuss the idea of sex and gender, and specifically we're going to talk about how women are represented in the media. And I do want to bring up Silence of the Lambs, not for Hannibal Lecter, not for Buffalo Bill, but for the role of Clarice Starling, and how she is so differently represented from most female models in mainstream media. She's portrayed as this ambitious, headstrong kind of person, and is surrounded by leering, sneering men most of the time, except for there's one character I can't think of the name of, and then Hannibal Lecter. And both of these characters actually treat her with respect, contrasted with every other male in the film who treats her as an object of objectification or envy. You know, they see a successful woman who's working at the FBI and all this kind of thing, and that's unusual to them. And they see her as something to be targeted and persuaded over to the bedroom or whatever. That's a quite prominent point of that movie. You need a Bionicle, I need a Bionicle. Looking at Ed Gein and even more David Berkowitz, the evil, monstrous serial killer, is a fiction. The mastermind serial killer could only be maybe the BTK or Ted Bundy, who are both necrophiliacs. Oh wait, someone fucking... Yes, I forgot about that point. You were absolutely right, Hazelnut. Someone fucking throws jizz on her when she's in the jail. That's... Oh... I'm gonna vomit now. For those genuinely curious about often intimate questions relating to a trans woman experience, Autogynephilia is a good video, yes, if it's still up on her channel. I wonder if it's still up. Oh yeah, it's still up. She's deleted quite a few videos from her channel, so sometimes you'll go and you'll look through them and you're like, where's this video? Why is this video not here? It's literally not there. Oh no, now it is. What the hell? Natalie, what are you doing? I swear I went onto her account the other day and there were only 10 videos up. And now it's back to like 20 plus. I forget how many. She kept them on her website. The transcripts are still up, that's true. If you actually go to her website, her website lists her most recent video as Shame, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos ago, which is a year ago. She hasn't updated her website in a year, unless she has been updating it and just hasn't done the title or whatever it is. What, Draco? What is it? Barney, the Guard of Lecter, also maybe the Moth experts. I'd have to rewatch the movie. I want to rewatch the movie. It's really fucking good. Actual movement based on black attractiveness that helped was the Black is Beautiful counterculture campaign. It was about destigmatizing Afro hair and other non-Caucasian features, which even famously attractive black women in the 60s like Diana Ross did never show. This helped the big afros of the 70s become a symbol of rebellion against the white-friendly straightened hair. Good shit. We love to hear it. Where are we? Oh, yeah, well, I just literally read that as you reposted it. Mention it because Wynn discusses some 15 to 20 thoughts and experiences in her life, very personal ones, that led her to realize she was transgender. I want to do a video similar to that, but I want to frame it around masculinity specifically. I have a very...
Another round.
Yarrow, thank you for buying another round for everybody. Thank you for the 50 bits. How are you bloody going? I want to do a video essay of my own that focuses specifically on masculinity and how I came to terms with my own transness. So that'll be out around July. I've got plans. I've got a whole slate of ideas. I'm streaming late. This is usually normal time. I end fairly soonish. I was planning on going a bit longer, actually. Weird how that movie, by the end of it, a lot of the people tend to sympathize with Hannibal, the super polite murderer cannibal. He still eats people and murders the shit out of them, but at least he didn't sploosh on Clarice. Thank you for the hydration lore. What was your joke, Draco? That moment when bigots realize they're reading from a transcript and not a cis script. I shouldn't applaud that. That was bad. That was bad. Also, I'm getting condensation all over my new clothes, and I wanted to wear these on Wednesday to the uni. And I'm not going to wash them because I've literally only worn them for the past few hours. So they're not exactly dirty. We should make Draco a mod. Yeah, why not? Draco, you can be a mod. We've been modding everyone tonight. You can be a mod, Draco. I am getting moist. My armrests are now moist. This is a mess. I'm a mess. Your favorite Lindsay Ellis Transformers videos are your favorites. Even her old Nostalgia Chick video, the Transformers the movie 1986, and her disgust at the Michael Bay male gaze-a-thon of Revenge of the Fallen. I don't remember which Transformers movie I saw, but it was the one with the Dinobots, and it was fucking dreadful. I'm never watching any of those movies ever again. That was the one of those movies I watched, and they were all shit as far as I'm concerned, based on my viewing of that one movie. Hello, Winter. How you doing? Where are we? Why aren't there any cisformers? This is as good a question as any. So Posh complimented the senator's suit, so he's alright. He's in jail for a reason, y'all. Exactly. Where were we? Did the straight Omegaverse videos from a few months ago. That was fucking legendary. You dig the straight Omegaverse videos from a few months ago. Oh, Chaotica, how you doing? I am a bit tired, honestly. The Transformer outside your house, it's fucking empowering. Can I tolerate an Ellen interview? Here's another cute trans girl who you hope will influence better attitudes in the youths. Not just because she's hot, she generally is a public figure, though with part of that as in a non-crass way. Okay, what do we got? Supergirl's new star Nicole Maines. Can we watch Ellen videos without getting DMCA'd or whatever? Because again, it's worth noting that when I was watching the ABC video of Brittany Higgins, my YouTube stream got halted until the copyrighted content stopped. So I had to stop watching that video. No, I'm just tired. I'm not reading anything with the right eloquence that I usually have. The very dangerous perspective people always put onto people. Oh, intelligent, eloquent, well-dressed. They'd never murder someone. It wasn't a DMCA, it was just a copyright violation, so my stream just stopped streaming until the copyrighted material was over. I did not get any strikes on my channel, I was okay at the end of it, but still, you know, in the wake of everything else that was happening, it just really fucking threw me, you know? But yeah, you know what, we'll watch this, we'll give this a crack. I can stomach Ellen, I just don't like her all that much. Anywho. Jacinta, what's up? You stop asking questions you'd never ask to cis people. True. Why does it feel like more of a confession? Would you take pleasure in... What? That's a weird take. Okay, let's watch
Let's
Ellen.
talk about you. So you were assigned male when you were born,
Yep.
and you have an identical twin brother.
Jonas, yes.
Okay. And at what age did you know that that was not right for you?
Well, I really started thinking like,
Hang on.
this.
We gotta use this for every fucking video, I swear to God. Oh my God, turn the fucking volume up, cunt.
Something wasn't right. I realized that.
At what age?
Ellen, there's a palm tree
probably-
coming out of your head.
3-4 years old.
Really?
3-4 years old. Well, my case was kind of unique because I
No,
have an
I can't
identical
not
twin
see it.
brother, and so growing up with him, he was, identifying with all of these male things, and he was feeling very comfortable in his body, and I wasn't. And so at the same time that everyone was like, yeah, Jonas, you're a boy, they were telling me I was too young to understand what gender I was.
Her hair
But,
is so
I
good.
went up
wish
to
I
my
could do that with
parents
my
and I
hair.
was like, listen, for a couple years, I've tried this whole boy thing. I think it's lovely. It's just not me. But yeah, so as soon as I could, I tried to voice to my parents.
And you were in a small town in Maine.
Yep.
And what did your parents, how did they react to that?
So my father grew up very conservative, and
Ellen makes you wish for death.
he really had set expectations for what boys and girls were supposed to be like. This is what you do, this is what your sister does. And so when I came out to him, that did not fit into his plan of what raising twin boys was going to be like.
Yeah, this is not about Ellen chat. She's irrelevant. This is about the trans girl. Ellen is just a framing device. Oh, excuse me. Ellen looks like the younger brother in Malcolm in the Middle.
So he just, he blocked that out. He ignored it. He focused on his hobbies, and that left my mother on her own for a while. She didn't grow up with the same kind of expectations.
Oh, true.
That
I didn't
my
even think
father
about
did.
that.
While his concern was always, kind of what will the neighbors think, she was always much more concerned.
Is she butch? I guess she's butch. Yeah, and actually, yeah, now that I look at the way she... Oh, did you know we have a Discord? Who put the poll up? Did you know we have a Discord, folks? If you type !Discord in chat, you can join the Discord server if you would like to. I've never actually honestly considered Ellen as a but the thing is, like, now that I look at her, it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Of course she is. When you vote no for shits and giggles. Soft butch? That might be a better way to phrase it, yeah. You'd rather not join the Discord.
With, will Jonas and Nicole, Wyatt at the time, will Jonas and Wyatt be safe around the neighbors?
Butch.
And so she wanted to make sure that we always had a safe place to come back to in her home. And the only problem was, at home, Dad didn't get it. And so it took a while, but when our family was attacked, when we were in elementary school, he really stepped up. And he said, I don't get this, but I love my child, and I'm going to protect my child, whatever it takes.
Good for him.
Love it.
Good for him. Wow.
That sounds very similar to Brandon Bulware recently, where he was like adamantly against the idea of his daughter transitioning, of his daughter being a girl, until he realized that being a good person was associated with pretending to be someone, and until he realized his daughter considered being a good, valid person in her circumstance was aligning with something that just simply wasn't her. How long is this poll going for, by the way? Have I seen the Ellen cringe-inducing interview with Kanye West's Vic Burgers cut? No, I have not.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be really hard on, especially having an identical twin brother and going to school.
Hello, Ren. How you
Were you
doing?
bullied at all?
Yeah, well, we tried our best to work with the school and with, the other families in the school system. And we did a gradual transition. I started transitioning when I was in first grade. And every year we kind of tacked a new thing onto it. Like, okay, this year you're going to wear pink. This year you're going to grow your hair out. And so we tried to answer questions as they came up. But so there were always bullies. When I would ride the bus, I couldn't take the bus anymore
welcome to the
because kids would refer to me as it on the bus.
Of course they would. I'm not surprised by that
Which
at
doesn't
all.
exactly make you feel good. And then in 5th grade, it really kind of peaked at
I'm not.
a male student
That's
in my
not what I
class.
said.
His grandfather was a part of
Am I that
a
drunk?
special interest Christian right group.
Oh
You
my
are now
God,
one
Ren!
of
For
us.
goodness' sake! Thank you for gifting 10 tier 1s to JS Solis, Alexia, not Alexa, Winter, Copy Packs, Hamburger and
You are now
Flies,
one of
Whiskers
us.
Are We, Lord Amorous, Red Vampire, It's Geodude and Ambitious. Holy fucking Jesus goodness. Yes.
You are now one of
And
us.
for those of you who are subscribed but are not in my Discord, now's a good time to get in the Discord because your name is a slightly different color. If you're in my Discord server, !Discord in
You
chat.
are now one of us.
You will get a slightly different name color. I forget what the actual color is. Can I look at my subbies? What are my subby colors? Patrons get orange names.
You are now one of us.
I don't even know what my sub colors are. What are my roles in my server? I go to my roles. Subs get well, there used to be a sub role. What the fuck?
You are now one of us.
Wait, really? There's no more sub role in my Discord. I'm looking at it right now. There's no more sub role in my Discord. I don't know what happened. But there is
You
no
are now
what?
one
What?
of us.
When did this happen? And Ren subscribing yourself. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for all the subs. Exclamation mark sports. Why didn't we
You are
use
now
that
one
when
of
when the sports discussion was ongoing? What's the dom roll? Exclamation mark sports. Holy shit, shut the fuck up. No one gives a fuck. You do get a different name in Discord,
You are
a
now
different name
one
color
of
in
us.
Discord for being a mod. I thought there were sub badge roles and I must not have added them or I must have deleted them or something like that. Name change probably broke the Twitch bot. Wait, which
You
Twitch
are
bot?
now one of us.
Wait, there is. You heard I'm black. Yes, I'm coming out as black. You're a sub and a mod and you're still grey. Okay, that's not right.
Welcome back, supporter of the cause.
I may have to manually assign roles for mods, but subs should get a role assigned to them. But oh yeah, actually yes, you're right. I see what you mean now about the name change. I didn't even think. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll do it later. We'll do it later. Was this just the N-word pass? Am I allowed to give out the T-word pass as a trans person? There is more to that Ellen vid. Let's continue watching.
And he had his grandson follow me into the girls' bathroom. And, he said...
Hang on. Come back a bit.
At, and then in 5th grade, it really kind of peaked at a male student in my class. His grandfather was a part of a special interest Christian right group. And he had his grandson follow me into the girls' bathroom. And, he said, my grandfather says we don't have to have any faggots in our school. In 5th grade, so.
Wow. You're so eloquent. You're so put together and carry yourself so well. The fact that you have gone through what you've gone through and you're so well balanced, I really...
Yeah, barely restrained rage. Yeah, right? I shouldn't have said it before. I said the shortened version of it earlier, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I was trying to elucidate my particular rage at that moment with regards to the topic we were talking about. And I was trying to use it contextually for the sake of let's hammer in how heavy this is, but honestly, hearing someone else say it in the exact same context, essentially, right? That's the exact same context as the way I used it before. Makes me just not want to. But I think the impact is so important when we're talking about the way that word is used. The way that word is used in an othering, hateful manner. When you're confronted with it in such a way, it really puts that power on it. Like, I don't have a whole ton of gay friends. I do have some. Yeah, on its own, it doesn't really bother you, but the way it's used by someone else in her story, yeah, it just, like, completely fucks with your head. And, in this particular circumstance... Hello, Vanna, how you doing? Yeah, like I don't really spend a whole ton of time around perhaps like an insular queer community. I've got queer friends, but I'm not like in the queer community, so I can't speak to how routinely this word may be used among, say, gay men. Do they call each other that? Probably as a joke. There's probably a few of them that do it. But I think that particular word has got such an emotional and not empowered, the opposite of empowered, such a powerful attachment to it that, yeah, like in that particular circumstance, that legitimately hit me. The way she said that, I was just like, oh my God, my heart just jumped back into my chest. That was heavy.
I admire you for that.
Thank you
That's
very much.
amazing. Really, I mean, that's tough. That's really
Listening
tough.
in the 80s, that
So you just turned 21.
I did yesterday, yeah.
All right, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
So, I mean, what a huge, you didn't even want to be an actor, and now all of a sudden you're on this show and you're doing so much for the trans community. I mean, this is amazing. You put college on hold and you're acting, which is something you never wanted to do.
Well, it was weird. I always loved theater growing up, and I was always like, wow, it would be so fun to be an actor. But, you know, my next thought was, I was like, wow, I'm from nowhere, Maine. You know, no one's from Maine.
Well, people are from Maine.
Well,
but, yeah.
we are, but we don't leave Maine.
Yes.
You know, usually on our way out, the mooses get us.
Yeah.
So, you know, I never thought, I did a guest episode of Royal Pains, and then right after that, Supergirl happened.
Wow.
And I was like, how did I get here? Every day I walk on set and I'm like waiting for someone to be like, ma'am, you can't be here. I don't know who let you back, but you need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it.
It's amazing. It's really important that you did it, and you, like I said, you're a great example, and the trans community needs more representation on television. So good for them for casting you, and good for you for
Vanna,
making
there you
history.
go.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
All right. The season premiere of Supergirl airs Sunday, October 14th.
It's just an ad for Supergirl at that point, which, you know, I haven't heard good things about Supergirl itself as a show, but that was rather touching. That was good to watch. Actually, it's me. There's some people trying to reclaim it, but in that situation, that's so fucking cruel, and it absolutely is a massive threat. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I know in the UK, you know, the F slur is referred to as a cigarette. Here, it used to be that way in Australia. I haven't heard Australians use that word for cigarettes in a long time. I think I heard my auntie say it a little while back with regards to cigarettes, you know, such and such needs to go and have a or whatever, but generally speaking, I think it's fallen out of common vernacular, and which is a good thing because it is a very, very powerful word, very hurtful word, despite the war criminal loving imperialist lesbian. The main economy is built on Stephen King novels, and New Yorkers finding out what a tree is. From what you've heard, it's used among gay men. Seen people saying if you're not queer, you cannot say the F slur, same way white people aren't allowed to drop the N word. Yeah, exactly. And the other day, I think it was Louis who was recommending to me to check out this leftist panel that was going on and I tuned in to find Destiny among a whole bunch of other leftist streamers discussing the use of the N word and how, like, you know, soft A or hard R or things like that, and how the nomenclature is used among, say, the black community. And he kept trying to argue the point of, like, why white people should be able to say the Vosh was on there as well. It was Demon Mama's stream, if I'm not mistaken, and he's just like, he keeps trying to defend the use of the N-word among white people, and it's so ridiculously, like, why are you dying on this hill? Why do you need this so much, Destiny? Why do you need this that hard, dude? You're now a Twitch staff member and abandoning the existence of leftist panels. They're annoying. I don't know much of Demon Mama because when I was watching that panel, I think Destiny's more of a right-leaning centrist, actually, from what I've heard of his content. But what was I going to say? Let me just fucking get... What was I saying? I barely know anything about Demon Mama except for the fact that she had a debate with Riley Grace Rochon recently, and RGR got emotional during the debate. which led to complications. And I have not watched that debate. I haven't seen the whole discussion. So, and during that panel, Demon Mama was entirely silent the entire time. Like, she wasn't saying anything. Everyone else was talking. So I don't even have a concept of what she's like as a person. So, as a creator. Maybe I should expand upon that and actually... The Discord link on my page, what about it? Is it not working? Please tell me it's working. I see that Jack's Films also came out as black. Oh god, I don't want to click on that. Yeah, my Discord link works. What about it? It works for me. If you're talking about here, why am I still playing? This one, I click on it and it takes me to the Rogue Room. It opens it up. It opens the link. It should work. I don't know why it wouldn't. It's good. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it's funny. Oh, okay. One good thing about Destiny is he doesn't take shit from either side, and that's a pretty good thing. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. That's a point to be made. But then there's a lot of people I've seen who use that as a deflection. It's like, oh, I'm just the kind of person who doesn't take shit from anybody. And they use that to justify bigotry a lot of the time, or like defending stances that could lean into bigotry. Also, we were going to talk about abolishing gender, and we just got so off track that we never got to Brian Earp's dissertation, or whatever this is. Not the Rouge Room, that's a different Discord entirely. Would you still be a centrist if you defended? Would you still be a centrist if you defended Kyle Rittenhouse, though? A lot of people aren't smart enough to use his takes, and when they try, they do it badly. I have seen a lot of people who Destiny argues against, and this is really weird, is like, yeah, that should be the link. Yep, that's the link. That does work for me every time. Stephen Ball. Can we have Joker? No, we have Joker at home. Destiny. He's a neoliberal. He doesn't at all support social democratic reforms. In just all in all a non-pleasant little debate, bro. That's the impression I've gotten from him, generally speaking. And I'm not a debatist. I'm not one of those people who debates, folks. I don't like doing it. It's exhausting. And yet at the same time, I like researching shit. I'm going to university and having information behind certain stances, having a bunch of information backed up and in your head, buried in your head, is a valuable trait to have. But I just don't want to debate people. I get so fucking sick of it. But regrettably, when you talk political nonsense, you end up in that space anyway. Like, you don't really have a choice in the matter. Oh, I said center-right, by the way. I didn't say center-left. I said he's center-right. Need my opinion on this. High progressive. Who's this? Okay. Leftist Jeff Diedrich. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. It's a Stephen Bonnell on stream.
Fuck me. So, yeah, fucking.
Hang on, we can't barely hear it because all the videos on my browser are on, like, next to no volume.
Fucking
Oh my god, I thought I swear too much. Why is the Google extension censoring it all? I think we get the point. I think that's yeah, the point has been made. It's been sufficiently thoroughly made. I think we get it. This is only clipped up to about 2.5 hours of a 4-hour panel. I simply did not have the emotional energy to go any further. Oh my goodness. Whenever people start having this conversations about 20 streamers or YouTubers who you don't know, you're like looking for the nearest escape hatch. I understand that. Abby, yes. I say fuck a lot, by the way. Destiny's Rittenhouse stuff is the question of self-defense. Your problem is if people over-politicize this, his defense team could get him off arguing the jury are being biased. I see the cute Reddit link. Oh, yes, I did, actually, yes. Let's come back to this. Oh fuck, is that gonna get me DMCA'd? That better not get me DMCA'd, I swear to fucking God. I will punch one of you. Equal rights means equal lefts, okay? Like... That video made you a deist. Lefties on Twitch now just becoming those CNN panels where 10 people shout at each other at the same time. I fucking hope so, because it's hilarious. Best be praying to RNGesus I don't get cancelled again. Please don't kick me off the internet a second time. I can't handle it. My emotions can't handle it, but my emotions can handle me passing 92,000 views on Twitch tonight. Fucking, can we get some poggers in chat? We just passed 92,000 total channel views in chat, not 92,000 consistent viewers. Goals as fuck, don't get me wrong. But that's not what happened. Can we get me to 92,000 viewers on Twitch? That's pretty fucking cool though. Greatest cat on YouTube. No more copyrighted music. Games for cats. Look, I love these cats. Look at their fucking flat faces. Look at their flat little I love these cats. I want one of these cats. I should get one of these for my cat. He'd love this shit. He'd lose his fucking mind. You know what Smudge loves? When he's sitting on the arm of my chair right here, and I'm doing something on my computer and I'm moving the cursor around, he looks at the cursor all the time. I saw, thank you again. Watching cute cats. What'd you say, Draco? Imagine being so fucking bougie you can afford a gender. Ah, fuck! I scrolled away from the video, sorry. I want to pet the kitty too. Look at him face. Look at its face. Look at it. I need it. Cat's vision is based on movement. True. The chubby little paws. Ah. For trusting you with being a mod. Oh, you're welcome. I trust you. Look at the baby. Look at his little squish face. Like somebody just pushed his face into a wall and said, "This is your face now." I love them. I need at least like 3 more cats. I need like 6 cats. Oh fuck. Did I ever tell you actually funny story about that song? I have 6 cats. If I could, I'd have all the cats. How many cats is too many cats? There's no such number. My friend showed me that video one night when we were hanging out and drinking. Pre-transition Abigail, for the record. And I showed her in response, you know, for no good reason. I showed her a Filthy Frank video. And she thought it was me. She thought the video was me, because I'd been talking about my own YouTube exploits at the time. And she thought the fucking Filthy Frank video I was showing her was me. And I'm like, no, that's Filthy Frank. Do I look like I have 6 million YouTube subscribers? No. You think I would be complaining to you about how I don't have enough money to buy wings for dinner if I had that many subscribers? She thought I looked like Filthy Frank back then. I mean, it was one of his videos where he was wearing glasses. His sunglasses. I was like, what? What? We must have been like half a bottle of whiskey each deep at that point, though, mind you. So we were pretty drunk. I don't blame her for not being able to recognize who the fuck I am and who the fuck he was. Scottish long-haired. I need to get one. I can't afford like a bougie cat. I want a bougie cat. That's like, you know, you buy it brand new as a kitten. I want to buy a brand new cat, not a boring adoption cat. No, genuinely. If I buy another cat, it's going to be adopted. Where are we? What have I missed? Turn the sound off for this one. Turning off the sound. Okay. Grandma knows how to edit. We're just watching cute videos now. All cats are beautiful is the t-shirt I want to get. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking sick. Are you kidding? Ah. I didn't realize I could have like zoomed that in. I don't even know this woman and I love her. She's fucking amazing. The sheer talent. Holy crap. I could only aspire to that level of editing prowess. Is she possessed? No, she's just fucking cool. She's possessed by a cool demon. Oh, Christ. Nicole Maines is on TikTok. There we go. Apparently you can make Adderall out of your own blood. Don't give me ideas. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it, mate. Don't tempt me. Had a cat named Tic Tac and he learned how to open our fridge and would steal our meats when we weren't home if we didn't put something in front of the fridge to keep it locked. Oh, that's amazing. I love cats. They're so much fun. More cats. I want more cats. That'd be Aberrol. Oh, Christ. Alright. I'm gonna raid someone. This is rather relevant considering both she and I have had our names forcibly changed by the system. Had our names fucking changed by the system. I'm gonna raid Roachzilla. I'm gonna go say hi to Roachzilla who's playing some Animal Crossing. You know what Roachzilla used to be called? You know what Roachzilla used to be called before they got banned for their name? Roach Tits. We both got assassinated by the system. But we were allowed back eventually. With the name change, I've never actually seen a stream. So, and the description is Australian trash bug. Was once Roach Tits, but Twitch wasn't chill about it. Okay, tomorrow night, I'm going to put out a disclaimer right now. I may or may not be live. I'm not sure. My plan is for tomorrow, with what free time I do have, to record the next big video essay and maybe get a bit of the editing done. But actually, Jacinta's coming over and I think we're going to watch... I think it's tomorrow Jacinta's coming over. We're going to watch some Avatar The Last Airbender, which may mean I may not stream. Who knows? We'll see. Might stay up all night watching Avatar The Last Airbender, or I might come back on at 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. If I do, that's where you'll find me. Stay tuned to the Discord and I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Scoot! What are you doing up? What's happening?